Hello and welcome. This is Gray Hughes of Gray Hughes Investigates on YouTube. This channel evaluates all aspects of true crime. As you are aware, videos and live streams in this genre often discuss elements of crime that may be disturbing to some viewers. If necessary, take the precautions needed to avoid these feelings. Factual information related to cases is the key to fostering rational true crime discussions. Fortunately, you will find that here. Please hit the like button only once, share the video, and subscribe if you like my content. Thank you very much for watching. What's going on, freaks? Hey, thank you so much, Donna D and Eugenie, and hello everybody. Thomas Jordan, DM, Boo Sheet, Andrew W, Eugenie, Little Puppy Paws 99, Linda Howe, as in Linda Molden Howe of the Cattle Mutilations and Crop Circles. Hey, thanks, Kubi. I think I mentioned your name yesterday as being one of those people that were on that one Halloween we did like 4 years ago, it seems like. Remember that? Look at Blue back there. Ah, he looks like he's just nice and comfortable. Alright, there we go. Look at Chloe right there. Isn't she the cutest you've ever seen? Come on! Now she's like, okay, I'm bored. Forget it. Yeah, so what we're going to do tonight is I'm going to, I guess people are wondering if Brianna Maitland might be a victim. You know what's interesting about Brianna Maitland is she went missing originally in 2004. And, it's interesting that, and that's the same year as Maura Murray, too, and people were wondering, so, man, what if they're part of his next phase, like he went and... started, because one of his things he'd do is just drive around. I mean, I guess it's possible. Maura Murray was kind of just in this random location, but I mean, who's to say he wasn't driving around? Not saying, the reason people connected him is because there was another name that people came up with that they thought, okay, yeah, maybe that's the connection there, but it turns out that guy wasn't related to it. So, or it's not the guy that's this house that they've been searching. So, it takes away that connection if that's the guy. But who's to say it wasn't somebody else? Maybe it was this this individual. Let's see. What the hell is it? There it is. Yeah, so that would have been, I guess, his name. I don't have his name memorized for some reason. I do have the folder, though. Jeffrey something or other. Oh yeah, champagne. I just remembered. Hey, thanks, Little Puppy Paws 99. So tonight we're going to do is the phones are open. I'm trying to get people to call in that actually have seen this, or know of Jeffrey Champagne, because everybody seems to have stories in this Facebook group. And I think it'd be cool if some of you called in and told us what you knew. You don't have to use your name or anything like that. But you could just call in and say what you know and heard over these years. Yeah, I'm surprised I remembered Jeffrey Champagne after a few minutes. But hey, I did anyways. Yeah, it's hard to remember. There's some cases I remember really well and some that I don't. Just the way it is. Thank you, David Arnold. So I thought I'd go over the Brianna Maitland, because it's an interesting one, and it was kind of cool. How I stumbled upon where her car was found. I had a photograph of it. I'll show you how that developed naturally. It was kind of interesting. Will you guys be interested in that? Now the thing is there might not be a lot of people watching, because what happened was I started the stream off as private, but I hadn't started streaming yet. But I think YouTube, even if you switch it to public after you've set it up, doesn't sort of get a trigger to immediately notify. But once it starts streaming, it might do that, but I think you get less people. So I guess that's my fault. Okay. Now what was there was something I was going to say. Oh, you know what? You guys ever play like those lottery? Like every once in a while you play lottery. I was trying to this one where it was like you pick 4 numbers and it's win for life, right? And you could win like $1,000 a week for the rest of your life. And like years ago, when I'd be at this, shit. Hold on. Hello?
Hi, is this Greg?
This is Gray. Who's this?
Hi, Greg. This is Donna Douglas from Claremont, New Hampshire.
Like Donna D, or just? I mean, there's a Donna D that we have in the.
D.
Are you the Donna D that's in the chat?
Yeah, yeah. I think that's. I'm
You're
on chat, so I think it's me.
Yeah, I mean the Donna D. Like you send in super chats and stuff. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Well, well, thank you. And by the way, so I mean, what do you got? What do you got?
Well, I grew up in Vermont. I'm in my late 50s, and I remember being a teenager, and this being a really big thing, because I live on the other side of the Connecticut River in Vermont. That's where I grew up. Mm-hmm. And Claremont, where I live currently, is just right across the river from Vermont. And this was a big thing, and it really affected a lot of us young women, because, this was the time when we all, say, hitchhike, and it was just, we had these safe little communities. And I have, one of the women was a Linda Moore, and I have, this is very weird, Linda Moore was a nurse, mm-hmm. and her husband was a bricklayer, and my father had him do lay a brick, a chimney for him. And he stopped by one night or one afternoon, and my dad paid him what he owed him, and he went home, and he went into his house, and he found his wife murdered. And they never solved who did it, and it was supposed to be the Connecticut River killer.
Yeah, that's one of the ones we went over last night. I don't know if you watched last night, but we went over all the victims, and then even that one where he came home from work and she was killed sometime between, I think it was 3 and 5 or something like that.
Yes, and what's really freaky is he had been at my father's house. I grew up in a big old farmhouse in Chester, Vermont, and he had done a chimney for my dad and stopped by. My dad paid him what he owed him, and he went home and he found his wife.
So so he was at your house working right before he found. Wow.
Yeah.
What are the odds of that? That's crazy.
I know, and it was just it was just really weird. And then later on, I worked with his son as a lifeguard, or her son, as well. And they never found out who did her, and she was stabbed repeatedly. I mean, it was over. She was like butchered, and then the nurse, there was a Barbara Agnew, I think that was her name, and she was a nurse, and she'd been skiing at Okemo Mountain that day.
Yep.
And she stopped in Hartford. It's on Route 9, on Interstate 91.
Yeah, we went over all these last night, and I mapped it all out and everything.
People, that's all. And I
you
go
know her?
by. I knew those two. I know those two women.
You know Agnew too?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
She was a nurse to Dartmouth Hitchcock.
Wow.
And also the Brenda Kudemarsh went to Stevens High School, and she has a lot of family still around here. And it's like it just stopped. Nobody ever, the police just never found anybody, or never.
Who's that last one you just said? Brenda. Who's that?
You left. You kind of a little bit. It's Kudemarsh.
I thought it was Bernice Cordamanchi. Bernice Kudemarsh.
No, it's not Kudemarsh. There's a whole big family here.
Kudemarsh? It's spelled
Kudemarsh.
Courtemanche.
Yep, Kudemarsh.
Huh, doesn't
That's
sound
how they
like
pronounce it.
that.
It's a big French
So it's like a
family.
French. Okay.
And I go by this gentleman's house all the time, and it is very creepy. And for years, young women in Newport and Claremont have known that you watch out for this guy. He is, it's been reported, and people make reports about him shooting his gun at cars going by, shooting at people. He made it like a compound. The fence is kind of falling down now, but didn't want anybody on his land, or just knock it to his neighbors. Just a real recluse.
So you actually you knew of this guy, this Jeffrey?
I don't know him personally. I don't know him like a friend or any kind of friend. But I would know him if I saw him, and I just know that I work with a lot of people that have grown up in this town, and they know to be aware of him. That he is known as being unstable. Police there a lot. That kind of thing. But I know that. There have been a lot of girls missing, and it used to be that they'd say, "Oh, they just ran away," until they found, some of the remains, but some they have not. But I'm really glad you're looking into this, because it needs to be solved.
Yeah, what the only part that that is frustrating is how few people watch the live streams when I do them.
Right. Well, there's a lot going on right now. Graduations and around here anywhere. There's like high school graduations and
but then you'll see like 3,000
that.
people watching a drama live stream about Chris Proudfoot and the rest of them. So then it's like, well, they chose to do that instead of like do something else. So it's kind of a little frustrating.
Well, they just don't know how great you are yet. So
Okay.
I'm spreading the word here. So,
all right. We'll see.
I really appreciate how you do, like your maps and your perspectives are so right on. I really appreciate you.
Well,
I enjoy watching you.
Well, thanks. Wow, that's so crazy. What else do you know about this Jeffrey Champagne guy? You just heard stories or what?
Well, I know. We were actually talking about. I work at a high school, and we were talking about it in the high school today, and a lot of people go, "Oh, we know him from the past, and our parents always warned us to stay away from him." And like your theory was, he drives around a lot. He used to have an old Ford truck. He would drive all over. He didn't really work. It was some rumor that back in his family somewhere there was some money, and he has his parents' house after they passed away or whatever that was. But he's a recluse, but very a lot of mental instability, a lot of anger, never had relationships, that kind of thing.
Yeah, I'm just looking
But
at he's got like a kind of old cars. I'm looking at the older Google Earth images. There's one from 2009, not at the street view. There's 2009, 13, and let's see. Yeah, it looks like it's a lot more grown over. Is he kind of just let it go recently, or?
yeah, he put that fence around there. You know, he put that. I don't know, maybe like in the 1990s even, and then he just never did anything with it. And I know that people say like the outside is a wicked mess, but inside it's like neat as a pin.
How do you know that?
And
how do you know that?
Because a girl that I work with, knew somebody that knew him and had been in the house. Her father had been in the house. A co-teacher of mine. I teach at a local school, and she said it was so weird. She goes, "You'd never believe it. It's like neat as a pin inside. Everything is all organized, and the outside looks like a hoarding mess."
Huh? Maybe it's like a sort of a disguise. Maybe he's. I mean, apparently, there's people out there that says he has two personalities. Like there's this, not a personality, and actually a separate person that, like, he refers to like a separate whole personality or something. I forget, with a name and everything.
Yeah, one of the teachers said that he was diagnosed with schizophrenia, but I mean, I don't know that for a fact. That's what she told me today. She goes, "Yeah, he's really." He, talks to himself and he's got some stuff with him and he's being back. But I don't know that for a fact. That's what she told me today. Because we were talking about your show when I was talking about it. And, just growing up, this area, it was a lot of mills, a lot of working, a lot of big families, Catholic Church, big families. And, people like that girl that was walking on Charlestown. The road she was walking on, you were talking about, it was like she'd come home sick from work or something. My internet was so bad last night, I missed part of you. But that she was walking, and that route right there it's a 2-lane highway, but it's like the main route from Charlestown to Claremont. And Claremont's where all the stores are. Charlestown's a very little town. And at 7 o'clock or 7:30 in the morning, there would have been a lot of people on that road, going to work, because a lot of people in Charlestown and Lower Sullivan County worked in Claremont in the mills and stuff. So I'm kind of surprised that it happened at 7 in the morning like that. He must have.
Right, he's probably out hunting. What's weird on the map here, like on his gate, the two posts on the backyard gate, I guess. Or I guess it might be the front now, but it used to be it says Kelleyville, like, road on both posts. Kind of weird. I don't know why it has that.
Kelleyville is between Claremont, New Hampshire, and Newport, and it's like a little village. And it's like there's no stores there or anything. It's about 5 miles east of Claremont, and it's before you get to Newport. And it's like this, like when you go through there, sometimes you'll have to see Claremont policing it or Newport. And he's right before you kind of go up the hill into Newport. And there's not many houses there. There is a state cop that lives almost across the street from him, which is kind of.
Did he look like the either of the two sketches that are out there?
Well, the first one was a little bit. He has a lot of like almost like tumors on his face now.
Yeah.
Sores on his face. But
so you've seen him walking around recently, or?
He doesn't. He goes more Newport way than Claremont.
Well, I mean, how do you know what he looks like that specifically on his face? Because
of people telling me and driving by his house. You'll see him walking in his property on the other side of the fence. And the fence is falling down, and you'll see him. And usually he wears like kind of like, blue jeans, flannel shirt, just kind of stuff that people around here wear, like farmers or whatever. Like that.
Well, a lot of people keep saying that they've referred to him as the Kelleyville killer, that particular person. I mean, what makes people call him that?
Since like I grew up and then I went to D.C. and lived there and came back, and everybody knows his house and calls him that. I mean, everyone. I mean, everyone. I teach in a high school, from the high school kids, the teachers, the people I've seen at my gym that I go to, they all refer to him like that. They all do.
I mean, but like, how did his name get brought up before this? Like, I mean, you actually heard people go, "Hey, there's this creep. We call him the Kelleyville Killer." Like, it's just sort of this known thing that everybody knew over the years, or it's something that just happened now?
Well, it has been. I mean, probably since like the 90s I've heard of it, or late 90s, because a lot of us would go. There's Sunapee Lake, which has a really wonderful beach. Steve Tyler lives there, has a house there, and it's beautiful. And a lot of people here go swimming there, and you go by his house. And I'd be in the car with people, and everybody would refer to him as the Kelleyville Killer. They all did. And I always wondered, well, why is he not in prison? You know, I could not figure that.
But that's why I'm asking, why did people call him the Kelleyville Killer when he obviously... There was no proof at the time when people would call him that he killed anyone. I guess there still isn't any. They're just looking at his house. So what made people call him the Kelleyville Killer before? Because he was a creepy dude?
Well, he was creepy. He would drive around in Newport and kind of follow high school girls, would scare women, and his parents passing away like that. And a lot of people couldn't understand why the police did not do anything about it.
Well, they need to exhume those two bodies. I mean, two people, the odds of a 54-year-old and a 57-year-old person, or parent, like your own parents that are 54 and 57 years old, that means they're pretty young, very young, dying of sudden illnesses within a 3.5-month period. I think that's almost zero, like 1 in 100 million. I mean, it's like, it's not even there's so low odds of that. So, it makes you wonder if he did something, and then if that's the case, perhaps he helped along the grandmother who was, ill, and they would accept it. It was a short illness for the mom and dad, but the grandmother, who's right in between, so it was October, December, and January, where all three of these people died. Maybe there was some sort of helping along of the grandmother, because it wouldn't even make anybody question, because she already had a long illness, and you give her the same type of thing and she just sort of dies, and they go, yeah, she was, I don't know, it's just really stunningly low odds of something like that.
And it's so weird to me that nobody has ever, it seems like the police just, one of the people, there were quite a few people they thought did, these killing of these women. And it was like, they investigated it, and then it just they just let it go. And for a while, the rumor was whoever did it had passed away. And then, they kept coming back to this guy. And like I said, I know that I've been told, today we were talking about, like, why hasn't anybody done anything? And they said, well, he's really mentally ill. And back in those days, and, law enforcement around here is very good now, but it used to be like kind of the good old boys, and I don't know why somebody didn't do anything. It just seems like it was dropped. I don't know. You need to find out.
What was dropped? Looking into him?
Like the whole investigation for these women. And I think, too, at work they were thinking that maybe there was a correlation.
I don't think they've dropped it. Like everybody always says that, but they're always working behind the scenes. They just couldn't find anything. Like, they're not sitting around going, oh yeah, we're not looking into it. That's why they're still, like right now when they went over there to this house and did this search warrant, look at all the people that were there. That means for a long time prior to that, people have been investigating it, building up a probable cause for the search warrant, right? So there's so many cases that they go, hey, we finally solved this one, and everybody thought, wow, I didn't even know you guys were working on it, and the family didn't think they were working on it, but they were, so I think that's something that is oversaid these days. I think there are
I
cases
think
where people aren't
you're
working on it.
because we all watch these TV shows and it's like solved in an hour. That isn't reality, obviously. But the other day, I don't know if you realize, there was a Dartmouth medical student,
Mm-hmm.
an Asian lady, who went missing, and they couldn't find her. And she did have some issues with depression or whatever, but they found her in the Connecticut River. I think it was Monday morning, and it was Tuesday morning that they went to his house. And a lot of people speculate, they thought, wow, she was, I don't know, I think she was like 27-year-old medical student from Dartmouth College, which is north of us. And they found her body floating in the Connecticut River along 91 in Windsor by the country club there. And it was like the next day they went to his house. So, people speculate, but I don't know if that has anything to do with it.
Somebody wants to know, do you know what he looked like a long time ago? In the I wouldn't say 70s, I'd say in 88's the only time a sketch came out, right? Or was there a sketch way before that? I thought it was when the survivor finally got to speak.
Right, yeah, that really brave lady from Swanton. The only time I've seen him, trying to think, I don't think I saw him at that time, but I know he was kind of like a thin, average build, Caucasian guy, kind of stringy hair with a baseball cap on. There was I didn't see anything and I didn't get close to him, but that was kind of what he looked like. Kind of a.
I mean, is he sort of thinnish looking, and the hair is sort of shorter?
Kind of narrower face, kind of. Like
what?
Kind of narrower face, kind of.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Kind of like that. But I'm sorry I can't tell you more. But this is just what I know, and I know that for years I've heard people mention it. From the 90s, and then when I went away, and then when I came back here, in 2016, and so I've heard every time I go by that with people, they always mention that house. They always do. And it's right by the main road there.
I wonder why people. It's just so weird that everybody seemed. Well, here's something that bothers me a little bit: is that everybody has been calling this guy the Kelleyville killer, and apparently everybody knew this guy's a killer, and then they're going there, and it kind of makes you wonder, it must have been based on some way better information than this, than just everybody going, oh wow, that guy's the Kelleyville killer, he's always a wacko following people around. There must be something forensically, but I haven't heard of an arrest being made or anything. So
no arrest.
But what was the information that led to the search warrant? That would be kind of interesting to know.
Sure. All I know is the only thing that, that was visible to the average person around here is this young medical woman being found in the Connecticut River. She was a medical student. He seemed several of the people that he targeted were nurses.
Just recently? Is this one that just recently?
They found her Monday morning, this past Monday.
And what was her name?
Oh, I think her last name was Tang. She was from China.
Mm-hmm. What was her? What river was she found in?
The Connecticut River. The Connecticut River is between New Hampshire and Vermont, and it goes. The east is Newport, then you go to Claremont, and then there's the Connecticut River, and then there's Vermont.
Mm-hmm. Oh, so it's Kexon Kai, not Chang, but it says was recovered from the river around 5:30 p.m. About an hour after a fisherman told police he saw the body along. Okay. And
they did say that she did have some mental health issues, but that she was doing, she was okay. So I don't know.
I don't think the timing. You think the timing is associated with them searching there? It just could be coincidental.
For the layperson who doesn't know all the facts, some people just speculated, that at work and in town, I've heard that. But when I first heard people calling him the Kelleyville killer. I said, wow, man, you can't just call somebody a killer. I mean, they'll sue you. You can't, and a lot of people, they wouldn't even go into it. Sometimes when I asked them, they just said, my family's had run-ins with him, or my dad knows him, and my dad told me to make sure I stay away from there. But not, some people would hold it really tight and wouldn't even discuss it.
Well, that's what I'm hoping somebody calls in.
I hope so, too.
Yeah.
I was really hoping that, the lady in Swanton would call you. Because she has been really, keeping it going and trying to investigate herself as well.
Who?
I can't remember, the lady in Swanton, the one that survived the stabbing. She lives in Swanton, New Hampshire. It's done by Keene.
Yeah, I'm trying to. There's a group on Facebook called the Kelleyville Killer, and it's all about him. So I'm trying to get people. I post in there, and I want people from there to call in. But it seems like it's been a tall order. People are just like, yeah. They talk a big game in the chat, but they don't never really want to say anything.
Right.
Like they type up all this crap, but I think when the rubber meets the road, they're just like, yeah, forget it.
But it is weird how everybody has called him that for years.
Mm-hmm. And then he's the guy that you go look at. See, to me, that makes it seem a little, dodgy, except the fact that they got a warrant means that there was something else that they have. He might be something they've looked at for years. Maybe DNA is finally kicked in somehow. Maybe one of the cases, DNA led to him, but it feels like they would have arrested him already. But he hasn't been arrested. They just went in and started looking around. I don't know.
All I know is, people said that when they were in high school in Newport, that he would, drive up and down the roads and go to the, because there's a lot of swimming holes and rivers and stuff, and he'd stay up there and watch them swim and stuff like that, kind of creepy stuff like that. But when I go to work tomorrow, there's quite a few people I work from in this area, and I'm going to ask them more. I'm going to tell them to give you a call if they know something, because I work with a lot of local people. And the Cootermarsh girl, she was from a big family, I don't know, 9 brothers and sisters.
How are you getting the R sound in Cootermarsh? I mean, there's not even an R. It's just M-A-N-C-H-E.
Oh, I know. I don't know, but I mean, that's, I
guess that's
work
what
with
it
them.
is.
That's all. They all say their name, Cootermarsh.
Cootermarsh. Okay, well, there you go.
Yeah, and I mean, it's a big family. It's a big family, and they never knew, and they didn't. They didn't find her body that long ago, did they? Really? Because it was in the paper around here 2 years ago about. Maybe it was the anniversary of her death or something.
No, they found her body in 1986.
Okay. It must have been the anniversary of it or something, because they had a big article in our local paper about her and stuff, but it still was not solved. But yeah, I'm just telling you what I know is growing up around here and stuff. Everybody always, watch out for him. That a very serious warning about him. So
I'm gonna play this thing. Let's see what it sounds like.
Showing up on the first page of Google might not be the best for everyone.
Okay, here we go.
pronouncenames.com.
Courte-manche.
Yep, Courte-manche, something like that. It's more like mosh, where there's no R sound in there, like a mosh.
Yeah, it could be the way I pronounce it too, but I just know that they pronounce it it's just different than it's spelled to me.
Yeah,
So.
totally different. Yeah, I wouldn't guess that at all. Crazy. Well, hey, thanks for calling in, and maybe if you get
and if somebody at work, when we talk about it tomorrow, if I will give them your number if that's okay with you, if they know more stuff about him.
Okay, cool.
And thank you for what you do, Greg. I think you're awesome.
All right, well, thank you. Appreciate it.
Have a good night.
Yeah, well, have a good one. Thanks for calling in. Donna D.
Thank you.
All right, see you.
Yes.
All right, bye.
Bye-bye.
Yeah. He's 68 years old now. Yeah. Anyways, thank you up there to Pancakes, Alley Cake, Paulette Leonard, Michelle H., Donna D. I don't know how she snuck that one in during the call there, but then also Tracy D. 1233. And there's Donna D again. Let's see. Yeah, so if you're out there and you actually know who this guy is, call in. All right, we're going to take a look now at that Brianna Maitland story because it's similar, I guess. I mean, we covered it a long time ago on here. So we'll just take a look at it again because it's not too far away. It's up in right up in here. So it's in Vermont, like the rest of it, but way up north, right up in this area. I guess this one is, that one's almost over the border, where that's actually Canada right there. Yeah, I saw that senior picture. If that was him, it's like it's hard to. I don't want to put somebody's face on here unless you know for sure who it is, What the hell is a gigawatt? Said Jim Long. I don't know. What is a gigawatt? All right, you guys ready? Let's do Brianna Maitland. This one's more recent. It's 2004, but that's also the same year as Maura Murray, which kind of makes you think, it's a little more interesting. So we're going to this is their, go back in time just like we did last night. I know this is all of your guys' favorites, Moy. The channel just really kicks ass when we do this stuff. But State Police search for missing teenager. So this is back on March 26th. I think she went missing, though, on March 19th. But anyways, Vermont State Police are searching for a 17-year-old Franklin girl last seen a week ago. Brianna Maitland, 17, was last seen leaving work on March 19th when... So yeah, March 19th, when she mentioned plans to make a short trip out of the area, police said. Her vehicle, a green 1985 Oldsmobile Delta, was found in Montgomery on Tuesday. Anyone who may have seen Maitland's vehicle between the night of March 19th and Tuesday morning or has seen Maitland can call the Vermont State Police. There's one really long article that kind of goes into the whole thing, so might have to go do that one. Police are investigating the disappearance of Brianna Maitland. Maitland's 5'4", weighs 105 pounds. She has hazel eyes and medium-length hair. And here's a little bit more in this one. A national group named the Memory of California Child Abduction Poly Class will... I wonder if that's NCMEC. I don't know. A national group named in memory of California... I don't think it is. Child Abduction Poly Class will set up a search center in Montgomery on Friday. Brianna Maitland, 17, vanished the night of March 19th after finishing work as a dishwasher at Black Lantern Inn. So that's right here. This is Black Lantern Inn. Right there. That's kind of a nice place. So she was a dishwasher there. Her car, a pale green 1985 Oldsmobile sedan, was found backed into the side of an abandoned home outside of town on Vermont 118 the following day. Hey, thank you, WNC Granny. Brad Dennis, the director of the Class Kids Search Center. Well, I mean, we don't need to read the rest of this one. So we have, this is Black Lantern Inn. And then I had a picture of the car right here. So that's actually the car backed in. I mean, it almost looks like it rammed into the building there. I mean, that's pretty crazy. It looks like it just went, you know, like literally part of that side of the back of that is broken, of the house. So I was looking at this, and there was a pin on a map on another article, and it just kind of gave you the general area. So it was like this. What I did was I went like this. So the pin was sort of generally in an area like this. So I go over here, and I'm going to walk through how I did this thing. And I was looking up there. I think I might have even been about right around in this area. And I was looking at that mountain back there, and boy, doesn't that look similar to this? You see that right there? I mean, it looks really close, but it looks like you have to go more to the right, right? Because that mountain in the foreground is a little bit more. You have to go to the right to make it cover more of the house in the background, right? So then I went up in the air, and I looked around, going further this direction, and I saw this area, and I go, hey, that sure looks like maybe that used to be an old house. And then you go down to Street View right here. And now look at that mountain over there. That's almost identical. See how that looked? Can you see it? Or let me make it more like that. Look at that. Almost identical. Except, where the hell's the house? So I went up in the air like this. There's where the house is. Then did Google Maps, which is right there, same spot. Then go down to Street View here. And then there's that spot again. Like that. Then there's historical view on here. And lo and behold, look at that. For God's sakes, they actually had the house that's still sitting there. Look at that. This is 2008 right here. That one is. It was still there in 2015 actually, but then there it is right there, and so that proves that that is the exact spot, and there's the house with the buildings on it, stuff like that. But isn't that cool? How like if you combine just the way you think through things, and you know that mountain in the background was used to, you have to line it up, and as soon as you get it lined up right, you're looking at the ground, there's absolutely nothing there, and then boom, and then there is something there after you do the historical street view. Hey, thanks Magic up there. Oh, you're not the same Donna D? Oh. That's funny, Donna D, because I was wondering if I was like, wait a minute, are you the same Donna D? And she says, yeah. So are you the Donna D? And then she said she was, but then I was wondering how she was super chatting while we were talking. That's hilarious, Donna D. Sorry about that. So I guess we have two Donna Ds. Thanks, Jim Lawn.
It's a house.
It's a house. There we go. But anyways, pretty cool, huh? There it is. That's the actual place. This is a 2015 street view. So that's where it is right here. I mean, I guess we could probably just put this even like right there. And so that's where her truck was found. And look at how close it is to where she works. But apparently she was supposed to go over to her friend's house, Jillian Scout, because she left a message on her house. So you could see that's probably how you would get there, right? You drive up here and then get on the it looks like 105 all the way to Jillian's Scout's house, which is right here. At least that's where I saw a listing for it, like right there. And the date and the years matched up, so I think that is the right spot. Thank you, Osiris. Stewart. Well, anyways, sorry about that, Donna D. I thought I asked enough questions for them to verify that it was you. I was like, so Donna D in the chat. That's funny. I was trying to see if you got, because it does match some of his victims. How it's apparently like as if they're driving around. Yeah, and maybe he waited for her, just like the other cases, how the car is put somewhere, but the victim isn't where the car is. I think that's interesting. So let's just read. Let's go to this one right here. It's a longer one, and it has like all the information in it. And the phone's up on the screen there. So if you're somebody out there that actually knows who Jeffrey Champagne is, you've seen him, you've talked to him, or people have talked about him, you live in the area, just call in at any time and I'll switch over to that. Plus chat, mapping is out. I'm not sure what that means. Well, thank you, Donna D. The original Donna D. I don't know what that means. Chat/mods mapping is out. Mapping it out. Oh, I see. Mapping it out. Yeah, that's what we do. I think, see, a lot of people make fun of me because I do mapping, and they think, oh, it's so easy, it's so simple. Yeah, they don't know what the hell they're talking about. You know, once you learn how to map it, you know, it's easy to put a pin on a screen, but to find things is not easy. You know, you have to. I've done it for so long now that it became easier. Now this is what I used. Just that little pin right there. I just guessed, and okay, I said, well, if I'm in the general area, I'll be able to see the mountain range, and then adjust where I am based on that mountain range, because there's two mountains. If it's one mountain, it's harder because, you know, it's like there's nothing to put your camera in the correct perspective to give you the right location. You know, sometimes if you're in a different area, you can see different elements of the mountain stick out and so forth. So that might help, but it's much easier with two. I don't know, Zozo, I just want to get onto this right here. I had it on the screen for a long time. It looked like she backed in. I think he just backed in there to hide it really quick and he hit the building. That's what it looked like to me. There's nothing else to see in it. The day of March 19th was shaping up as a good one for 17-year-old Brianna Maitland of Sheldon. In the morning, she took, I'm sure we'll look at it again later. In the morning, she took, and to her relief, passed a mathematics test, the last part of her high school GED examination. In the afternoon, she celebrated by going shopping for clothes in St. Albans with her mother, Kelly Maitland. Later, as Brianna Maitland prepared to head out for the nighttime shift as a dishwasher at the Black Lantern Inn in Montgomery, she stopped to leave a note for childhood friend Jillian Stout. That was that home that I just showed you a minute ago. At Stout's home in Sheldon, where Maitland was temporarily living. And in the note, she wrote, I get off work between 10 and 12, it said. I'll see you later. So when she got off of work, she never made it home, but look how close that is to where she worked. I mean, so she's working right here at the Black Lantern Inn, and then her vehicle is found backed in near here. Now, if she was running away, it wouldn't be like that. I mean, I guess you could say she saw somebody falling and she sped up really fast and then backed in, you know. Yeah, the backing in part seems like a guy did that. Except they backed into the building. I don't know why they, you know. And we could look at it 100 times. It's just right there. You know, backed in. The wheels are turned left, like, as if you're going to. They're turned inconsistent with the car being backed in like that. You would think the tires would be turned to the right as you kind of curled back in. I guess, let's see, how would this happen? It could be that she is backed in and they turned out. I don't know why they're turned that direction. Yeah. I guess if the car was straight here first, and then you backed in and in the back right hit, they would still be curved. You get what I'm saying? Yeah, so if you're, let me show you. Yeah, so if the car was right here, and then it was facing straight out, and then it backed up and then boom into the building, its wheels would be turned to the left. Like that. And maybe it pulled in, backed up, and then it kind of, I don't know, maybe it was trying to actually pull out and then it got stuck. I don't know. It doesn't sound like it's stuck there though. But if you continue this out, let's say you went forward, right? The car would be straight. So I'm assuming it was straight over here, and then it tried to back up. Maybe it tried to hide it better because when it was out, it was too much of it sticking out, and then it backed up and hit the building, and then they freaked out and took off. I don't know. There must have been another car, though. So it's almost like he did something to her, got out of his car, then backed her. He had tried to hide his car, but wouldn't it have been better to put it on the other side of the building, right? I mean, it's not the greatest hiding spot in the world, you know. Yeah, I talked about it years and years ago. I can tell you, actually. Let's see. This file is from August 2022. So I don't have it on Google Earth, though, amazingly. I don't know why. Must have been some in that time frame where I switched computers and lost a month or so. That's her car. If it was his car, there'd probably be an arrest made, don't you think? Later, as Brianna Maitland prepared to head out for her nighttime shift as a dishwasher at the Black Lantern Inn in Montgomery, she stopped to leave a note for her childhood friend Lillian Stout at Stout's home in Sheldon, where, that's how I found it. I found a bunch of addresses for her, and the one in Sheldon is that one, where Maitland was temporarily living. So she had moved out of her house. She was getting, she's 17, didn't really like living at home. I get off work between 10 and 12, it said. I'll see you later. Maitland never returned to Stout's house. She went to work at the Black Lantern as planned, but when her shift ended at 11:20 p.m., she walked out the door and vanished without a trace. Hey, you guys, we have no new members tonight. Come on, you guys. What's going on with that? Where are the new members? Today, as search teams look for evidence of her in a remote woods and hills in this community of 900 residents close to the Canadian border, the story of what happened to the attractive petite teenager remains an unsolved mystery. Did she leave on her own? That seems unlikely, considering 2 of her paychecks were found in the car. Why would 2 paychecks be in the car? And all her clothes, cosmetics, and migraine. I mean, who doesn't cash their check the second you get it? I mean, would you wait 2 weeks to tell your next one? Hey, thanks, Kubi. And welcome to Mark Radzilowski. Oh, look at Donna D. Got 5 memberships there. Welcome to Kelly M. Rocket Star. Judy Jude. Third Planet from the Sun. Annie O'Connor. Very cool. Thanks, guys. So everyone who knew Maitland said she was a headstrong, independent young woman, restless about living in a part of Vermont she viewed as too isolated. She was too brave for her own good, her father, Bruce Maitland, observed. Was she abducted? Most of her friends and family think so. And that's exactly what this guy does. And that her car was found a day later. Its back end rammed into the... You know, it's weird. Was the car put there later? Was she abducted? Most of her friends' family think so. And the fact that her car was found a day later, because people would have found that car, don't you think? Like somebody would have found that car that close to her work sooner than that. Like they didn't. Nobody found it that. Well, when they say next day, is that the like just overnight? I mean, I don't know how many hours it took to find it. I guess. Maitland never returned to Stout's house. She went to work at the Black Lantern as planned, but when her shift ended at 11:20 p.m., she walked out the door and vanished without a trace. Hey, thanks, David Arnold, for gifting a membership to Stace on the Case. All right. Another one that used to be a member, but isn't one. Let's see. Everyone who knew Maitland said she was a headstrong, independent young woman, restless about living in a part of Vermont. Was she abducted? Okay, so what are they trying to imply here? That the fact that her car was found a day later, its back end rammed into the side of an abandoned house a mile out of town, is ominous. The Vermont State Police said they have no direct evidence of foul play, even after. I mean, I guess it is possible, like what Zozo's saying, that the car was... You know, maybe she left the road to try to get away from him, but that's kind of stupid. I don't know if you would do that. Yeah, it's the same. Well, it's the same shot, really. There's nothing different about it. But yeah, it's a different, same shot, but just different. Here, I'll show you guys. It's a little closer up, kind of. Yeah, it's this one right here. Yeah, so it looks like it rammed in. I don't know if it got stuck. It almost seems like that wheel's a little bit up off the ground. See the back of that so high up there? So maybe it got stuck after that. But it's hard to know how it happened. Obviously, right before this, the car was straighter. Yeah, it's weird. It kind of makes you wonder, like, did she meet somebody there and her car was straight, but the guy turned out to be nuts, so she runs to her car as it was straight over here and then backs up this direction to get an angle to leave, but then was caught just as she hit the building, and then the person took her out of the vehicle. See that? Yeah, I don't keep needing different ones, right? I mean, yeah. From the other side, yeah. Let's see. So, anyways, the car. You guys see what I'm saying? If the car was straight before this, I mean, it has to have been, right? Like, if you straighten out those wheels, that means you're over here. Unless you just rammed in and then you turned your wheels to the left to get out, but your car got stuck. Like, the wheels in the back were off the ground, they were spinning, and you couldn't get out of there, and you just tried to turn to the left to get out of there. But if it's not the case, that means it was straight, and then it backed this way to angle towards the road and hit it, but then something happened where she's not in the car anymore, and the wheel's like that. I mean, it doesn't seem like it seems like she's still in the car when this happened, because why would the killer park it like that? However, if it wasn't there until the next day, then that means the killer put the car back there. And I don't know why it would be like that. You know, it's one of those things. I don't think so. If she's ran out the road, she wouldn't be right next to the building like that, because she came from the left. But anyways, let's just get back to the article. All right. Vermont State Police say they have no direct evidence of foul play even after conducting a forensic examination of her car. Without proof connecting a crime to her disappearance, all police can say of the Maitland case is that it's suspicious. The uncertainty about just what happened to her best friend is what upsets Jillian Stout the most. That's the friend she was supposed to drive over to. It's worse not knowing than knowing, she said. Maybe someone was stalking her and she didn't know it. She's a pretty girl. Brianna Maitland was born October 8, 1986 and lived until last fall with her parents and older brother, Waylon, in the woods of East Franklin at the end of a rutted 1-mile driveway in a modest home 300 feet from the Canadian border. I think I might have that one right here. Yeah, see, there's the highway. It's way back here. That's the house right there. So she lived way back there. I bet she did feel pretty isolated. Yeah, there's no street view or anything. Completely. That's Canada right there. Isn't that weird? Like you could just walk, from their yard and be right into Canada. What kind of border protection's there either? I mean, what keeps somebody from coming right through the woods, right here, for example? Was there anything like a fence or? But anyways, that's their house right there. Early years. Brianna Maitland was born October 8, 1986 and lived until last fall with her parents and older brother Waylon in the woods. Right, we just said that. There's not much to do up there, that's for sure, said Shauna LaBelle, a friend who, like Stout, grew up in East Franklin and later moved away. We like to go four-wheeling or go to the beach at Lake Carmi, LaBelle said. Bree was fun, outgoing, very smart. She was not a girly girl. She also had a mind of her own, her brother said. When she set her mind to something, there was no way of changing it, Waylon Maitland said. We used to argue about who was going to get to shower first in the morning, and regardless of what was decided, she'd get up earlier and get there first. LaBelle recalled a time in school when irritated that some of her classmates were goofing off. Maitland decided to do something about it. The teacher was trying to keep order, and she stood up and said, "You guys, all shut up. I'm trying to learn here," LaBelle said. By last year, Maitland had grown restless at home. When tensions in the home caused her father to temporarily move out, she decided to follow suit. Her father proposed renting an apartment for both of them in Ennisburg Falls so she could attend Ennisburg High School. I guess she felt I could move out. She could move out too, Bruce Maitland said. The arrangements for the apartment fell through. Her father decided to move back home. Maitland chose to live with her boyfriend. As 2004 began, LaBelle had grown concerned about the direction her friend was headed. She was partying a lot, and it was a crowd I didn't like seeing her with, said LaBelle, 20 years old. I talked to her about it, time and time again. I said, "You've got to stop hanging out with those people and get yourself together." Eventually, she said, Maitland agreed, but it took a fight with a girl at a February 27th party in Ennisburg for her to get the message. The incident, still under investigation by police, allegedly involved a girl who slugged Maitland twice, giving her 2 black eyes and a concussion that prompted her mother to take Maitland to the hospital the following day. Soon afterwards, Maitland moved into the Stout home. That's that friend. Every teenager goes through a party stage, Jillian Stout said. She didn't party when she moved in with me. She didn't want to party. She'd come home, read a book, or watch TV. There's no evidence that anyone was with Maitland or was waiting for her when she left work at the Black Lantern the night of March 19th. The owner of the restaurant, Deb Winders, declined comment on the case. There is also no evidence Maitland went anywhere or met anyone after she vanished her shift, said Vermont State Police Lieutenant Thomas Nelson, who is in charge of the investigation. Finally, so that means there was no fingerprints or anything on the car. It was just almost as if she parked it there and crashed it. Finally, there's the mystery of when the night Maitland's pale green 1985 Oldsmobile sedan was driven backwards into the abandoned home, or whether she was driving it at the time. Finally, there's the mystery of when that night Maitland's pale green 1985 Oldsmobile sedan was driven backwards into the abandoned home, or whether she was driving. Yeah, so we have the same questions. The place was once the home of Myron and Harry Dutchburn, two elderly men who were brutally beaten during a 1986 robbery at that house, but survived. Both men later passed away, and the home has been unoccupied for 6 years. Bruce Maitland said last week he's satisfied with the effort police are now putting into his daughter's case, but expressed frustration with what he says were early missteps by the police, particularly their failure to promptly notify him about the abandoned car. Had I known they had found the car, we would have gone into high gear right away, he said. According to, so they didn't tell them? Geez, that's so stupid. According to Daniel Begibing, commander for the St. Albans State Police Barracks, the trooper handling her abandoned car complaint that day figured out Brianna Maitland was the car's operator and finding her paychecks from the Black Lantern in the car. Indeed, instead of calling her mother, who was listed as the car's owner, the trooper went to the restaurant to look for the team. The restaurant was closed, and other work kept the trooper from following up on the matter over the next 2 days. He assumed that sooner or later the vehicle's owner would come in and ask where the car had been towed to. Begibing said, in this country we get a lot of abandoned vehicles. Meanwhile, Stout grew concerned, that's the roommate, the girlfriend of hers, concerned over the weekend about Maitland's whereabouts, but convinced herself her friend must have gone home to East Franklin to stay with her parents. When Stout still hadn't heard from her friend Tuesday, she called the Maitlands, who then called the police to say their daughter was missing. Not until Thursday morning, when the Maitlands went to the barracks to fill out paperwork and provide photographs, did police make a connection between the missing person report and the abandoned car. By then, Brianna Maitland had been missing more than 5 days. Montgomery searches. Bruce and Kelly Maitland have spent most of the past 10 days putting up posters and poking around the outskirts of Montgomery near where their car was found for clues. I bet you people weren't suspicious of them and, doing stomping around outside the front of the house, and, they were allowed to actually go out and do some searching. They've been told of a white pickup truck seen parked down the road the night Brianna Maitland disappeared, about a man heard shouting late that night about a man flirting with their daughter at the Black Lantern the last night she was seen alive. I turned it all over to the police, Bruce Maitland said. Police, meanwhile, have done their own searches with trooper dogs and National Guard helicopter. Late last week, Missing Child Search Center was set up by a group named in the memory of Polly Klaas. In Montgomery, the Maitland case is the talk of the town. Yeah, so, it kind of gives you a lot of the information regarding it. And they just kept, over the years, it's like more than 300 search for her. This is still back in April now. Missing teen father criticized state police in letter to the governor. Family calls for national search. Took in pastor GED. Looks like it's the same thing. Let me zoom in on this. I like the timeline information. If Brianna's still alive, then she was taken out of the area. We need you, the media. The morning of Friday, March 19th, Brianna Maitland took and passed her GED exam. She celebrated by going shopping with her mother. She headed for her nighttime shift as a dishwasher at the Black Lantern Inn in Montgomery. Before leaving, she left a note for her friend that said, "I get off work between 10 and 12. I'll see you later." Her shift ended at 11:20. Brianna has not been seen since. Later that night, Brianna's pale green 1985 Oldsmobile was found ensconced into an abandoned home on East Berkshire Road in Montgomery, 1 mile from the inn. The car was driven past the building, was thrown into reverse at a high enough speed to launch part of the trunk into the structure. The first passerby spotted the car at 12:30 a.m. Man, that's wild. So that means in an hour period, she went, they have it narrowed down to an hour, because she left work at 11:20, right? So an hour and 10 minutes. And they spotted it at 12:30 a.m. the next day, but that's, it's the same night, right? The next day, the trooper figured out that it was Brianna Maitland's car, and then he just, instead of calling, we already went through that. By Tuesday, Brianna's friend that she was living with grew concerned and phoned Brianna's parents. She had assumed that Brianna must have gone home for the weekend. Kelly and Bruce Maitland called the police. Yeah, that makes sense that the friend wouldn't have called, because she just figured she went home, and then she started getting worried, then called the parents. This is when the police made the connection between the abandoned vehicle and Brianna. The Maitlands started putting up posters and searching the area where the car was found. Yeah, it's a pretty small window of time. Yeah, definitely. Brianna Maitland's missing for a year. Hey, you guys, I haven't even mentioned it tonight, but I'll do it right now. If you're out there and you're able to help support the channel, I kind of rely on you guys on a nightly basis to get to the goals and whatever we're trying to do each night. So if you're able to help support the channel, that'd be great. You can put a comment in a super chat and I'll read it. Whatever it is, but if you're able to, that would be great. I'd appreciate your support. Thank you. Tape may show missing teen. Missing for nearly 2 years, a Vermont teenager may have turned up in Atlantic City. On January 17th, surveillance camera at Caesar Atlantic City Hotel Casino captured the image of a woman police say may be Brianna Maitland. Is that her right there? That does kind of look like her. It was obtained from the casino after a man who lives near Maitland hometown of Sheldon, Vermont, returned from Atlantic City and contacted Vermont State Police, telling them he saw a woman who looked like Maitland at the casino. The man who knew of Maitland's disappearance and what she looked like from flyers posted in Vermont didn't alert. I wonder if they put in these articles that she wanted to, she didn't like being in the small, isolated town. Then it makes you kind of wonder, man, is she like a gone girl then? Doesn't seem like it. I mean, like she had things, work, and she just passed her GED, and she left. Wouldn't you take your paychecks with you? I mean, that's kind of right there, that tells you the story. She would have cashed the paychecks. Then the next time she worked, made it look like the same thing, and then disappeared. Right? You would want to have the money. You would probably just go cash the paychecks, get the cash in your pocket, then crash your car, make it look like that, and then get away to a different life. Yeah. Dead as a doornail in here again. I mean, look at it. Just nobody's typing, nothing. No responses, just The casino provided videotape containing the footage, which was reviewed by Vermont investigators and Maitland's parents, who said they believe it's her. I mean, that does look like her, like quite a bit. I mean, that's can't be. That's not video then. That's the same picture as that one. Look, I mean, there's the two bands right there and everything, and the little circular thing there. So I don't know what the hell they're looking at here. You vanished in March. Okay, I have turned up a casino. Yeah. Yeah, I know it's her. I'm just saying they made it look like that was their surveillance footage. I just showed you it. Yeah, she was supposed to meet her friend afterwards. I don't know. There's like DNA in the case and everything. Thank you, Cheryl Bullock. And Donna D. Tape may show missing girl. That's not it. I'll just go through the rest of these. Police follow leads. Search for... I like how people, like, they look up the case and pretend that they've known it this whole time. Yeah, this is just something... We looked at this like 2 years ago, and we're just kind of looking at it again. 3 years after Brianna Maitland vanished after leaving work at Montgomery restaurant, police haven't given up hope that she could be found alive. We're still treating this as a missing person case. So, let's see. Maitland of Sheldon was 17. I mean, I don't think there's going to be anything new in these earlier ones, but I'm going to move it all the way towards 2008. Police concede missing Maitland was probably a victim. All right. Then we've got Keys ruled out of Maitland Van. Oh, Israel Keys, huh? So they actually thought maybe he had something to do with it. Keys, 34, frequently traveled to the East Coast to visit family in Maine and property owned in Constable, New York, but financial records prove he was elsewhere March 19th. Speculation had surrounded potential links to Israel Keys. Okay, well, since it's not that, there's no reason to look at it. Police seek clues to teen's disappearance. This is back in... This one is from 2015. Today marks the anniversary of when 17-year-old Brianna Maitland disappeared in 2004. Police said Maitland left work at about 11:20 p.m. on March 19, 2004. Her car was found the next day. Police say there is no evidence that Brianna left the area willingly, and they believe she was a victim of foul play. But there's also no evidence that there's foul play, right? But it makes more sense since she hasn't turned up. And then right here, state police new DNA evidence in teen's 2004 disappearance. This is 2016. Vermont State Police officials say DNA evidence found in a teenager's car could shed light on her disappearance. Brianna Maitland disappeared in 2004 after leaving her job at the Black Lantern Inn in Montgomery. The 17-year-old girl's car was found the next day at a nearby abandoned farmhouse. Police have said there's no evidence that Maitland left the car willingly, and they believe she was a victim of foul play. Major Glenn Hall said DNA could connect a suspect or person who was with Maitland that night. And maybe they tested items from the vehicle then. No, I wasn't talking about you. Who are you talking? What are you even referring to? Well, I'm not sure what you're talking about, Zozo, but no, you don't remember the details either. You had to look it up really quick. It's okay, though. I mean, we're trying to get the information here. The FBI laboratory in Virginia will test a hair found in an abandoned pair of jeans. There you go, the abandoned pair of jeans. To determine whether it belonged to a Montgomery teenager who went missing almost 4 years ago. The jeans were found October 25th in a remote wooded area. That's right, they got these dogs out there, and they were like scenting around and found a pair of jeans, I guess. And I guess, are they her jeans, though? I mean, that's crazy. To see whether they belong to Brianna Maitland, who was 17 when she was last seen in Montgomery in 2004. The Vermont State Police say technicians at the Vermont Forensic Laboratory couldn't find enough DNA in the jeans to determine whether they belong to Maitland. Police say the results of the test will be made public once they have received results from the FBI lab. Maitland went missing. Well, what if they ever determined that was hers? Yeah, I mean, they went missing the same year, so it makes it sort of more interesting. Despite an extensive search effort by police and volunteers in the days and weeks after she went missing, no one was able to determine what happened to the teen. Despite an extensive search effort by police and volunteers, the days and weeks. Okay. So there's that one. Then there's more like just actual Google. Police family asked the public for help in the 14-year-old. Why don't they do genetic genealogy with the DNA that they've got? At just 17 years old, Brianna Maitland was a fiercely independent teenager. She moved out of her parents' house in rural Vermont in with her friend. Yeah, so I doubt she would just, take off because she already was independent, right? After her shift, Brianna and her... Let's see if there's anything different. Yeah, so I think all the rest of these facts are the same. It's identical. But that's her right there. Let's see. Bruce and Kelly are now separated, and Kelly lives in New York. In 2007, she told Dateline that she wouldn't give up either. She'll be 31 when this article is out. And then 2022. Let's see, 2020. Yeah. Well, thanks for looking that up, Zozo. All right. Anyways, right here, that's that. Ah, look at this. So that's when they had a whole bunch of cop cars out there.
New information tonight about the disappearance of a Franklin County teenager who was last seen 18 years ago.
Adam Sullivan joins us live now from our Upper Valley Bureau with the details. Adam.
Kat, police say thanks to advanced forensic technology, Brianna Maitland was last seen in Montgomery. The next day, her 1985 Oldsmobile was located backed into an abandoned building known as the Old Dutchburn Barn, about a mile from the restaurant where she worked. Was located backed into an abandoned building known as the Old Dutchburn Barn and collected, and a car was found. Originally, no matches were identified, but they got a match.
That we identified them throughout the investigation in the course of the last 18 years. It was DNA that we had collected in the course of investigation. That's how we identified them throughout the...
Police say they got a match. 17-year-old's car was found. Originally, no matches were identified, but after a Texas lab re-examined the DNA evidence, police say they got a match.
To who?
The 11 individuals that we compared the DNA to were persons of interest. That's how we identified them throughout the investigation in the course of the last 18 years. It was DNA that we had collected in the course of investigation.
That person at this time is not considered a suspect in the case. Vermont State Police say because of the ongoing nature of the investigation, they are unable to provide any further details. Maitland's case has received national attention. That person at this time is not considered a suspect.
Okay, so it's just probably like DNA on the car.
In the case, Vermont State Police say because...
Yeah, I guess we already went over all this stuff, so, you know. Source of DNA, Brianna Maitland investigation identified. Okay, there we go. There's that one. Testing and forensic genetic genealogy have helped the Vermont State Police identify the source of DNA found as part of the investigation. No suspect in the case has been identified. So it's probably like touch DNA on, and it made sense. And 2022 are available on website. That was just a continuation. Let me go to this one. New evidence on missing woman. So this is the last one that I had from 2022, October 29th. New evidence on missing woman. Police were out this weekend searching for more possible clues in the disappearance of 3.5 years ago of the... Oh, this is 2007. Yeah, I was looking at that. That looked... A pair of blue jeans was found in the woods Thursday. So this is 3.5 years later, 7 miles from where Brianna Maitland was last seen. So according to Zozo, she said that they tested those and they weren't hers, but that wasn't the DNA that we were talking about. Obviously they found some other DNA and it led to somebody else and it wasn't her. Or, you know, they didn't think it was connected. How many victims so far? Well, there's just the 8 victims. There's one of them is a survivor. Yeah, let's see. Oh well. Sorry about that, Katie, but trying to do something to get some revenue on the channel. It's really, again, 2 nights in a row of struggles. So guess we'll just have to see. But if there's ads on there, you'll just have to deal with it. Sorry. There's 8 victims. Yeah. So I was trying to do a show tonight where people call in, and this is the second night in a row where we have nobody calling in regarding the case. I had one earlier from a different Donna D, but we're not getting anybody calling in regarding... Well, you can call... How about you call in if you have thoughts on it? Whatever you want to do. I'm a little bit frustrated with this. You would think people would be a little more interested, just a little bit, Hey, wow, thank you so much, Donna D. Jeez. Who's Magic? Who are you talking to? Don't even see anybody with that name. Donna D. Didn't. So there was no blood or anything in the car or in the house? Yeah, well, they said there was no evidence of foul play. I think it's just kind of like she's gone, so they know that something else happened. Something like that. I don't even see somebody with that name, Daryl. Anywhere. So I don't know. I mean, Maitland's disappearance is similar to some of the victims down here. And, in a way, so is Maura Murray's. I mean, her car's just sitting there too. I mean, isn't that interesting? Like all these cases down here, you have the victim's car, all but a couple of them. Like the victim's car is somewhere without her, and then they're missing. Could it be that even Maura Murray's is just right there? See, if he's only let's see how many miles away this is. Let's go that from here to there. That's only 115 total miles straight, probably 125 driving. And then Maura Murray's even closer, about 60. Thank you, Kathy Frydenmaker. Been like 5 minutes since her last message. Maybe she left. Huh? What are you talking about? Who are you talking about, Daryl? Jesus, what? Oh, what she says are... I don't know who that is. No idea. I can't even see the person in here. What'd you call them? Oh, I just said, okay, now I see them in yellow right there. Okay, she, he, whatever you are, Magic. If you have any information on the case, feel free to call in. Or location of what body? Who? Whose body? Who is disposed in the woods like Brianna? What are you talking about? Are you a psychic, Magic? Oh, yeah, we got it now. Here we go. Oh, yeah. In the woods! Kelleyville, little bunny, skip back! Skip back! Yeah. Was in here earlier. Yep. I don't need the context of them. That they're just, you're not ready. Nobody's even really, I mean, who are you talking to up there? She was killed during a drug dealer and her body was disposed in the woods like Brianna. Well, you don't know if Brianna's body was disposed of in the woods. She wasn't found, but the other girl I mentioned was part of a plea deal. I don't even know what other girl you're talking about, etc., etc., etc. Right. Hello? Who's this? Is this 303?
Hey, what's up, Greg? It's Jim from Denver.
Jim from Denver. What's going on, Jim from Denver?
Still trying to figure out what the fuck a gigawatt is. But
oh, yeah?
Yeah, man. Yeah, I sit on the East Coast. I don't know that much about this case, but I've followed the Maura Murray case for a while.
Mm-hmm.
It seems like you can get away with a lot of crimes in like Rhode Island, that backstate part of Vermont. It's sparsely populated. I don't know if the local police know how to investigate. So I don't see this thing getting solved unless we get the DNA.
Which case, the Brianna Maitland one, or the serial killer case?
Yeah, all three of them. Yeah. The Connecticut one, the Maura Murray one, and this one that we're talking about right now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. No, definitely. I mean, if they have DNA, but it seems like it should be solvable. Well, I mean, that's such a huge deal on cold cases, DNA. If you haven't solved it by then, it's hard to find something unless you can, like, they just went searching at the house. Maybe they were looking for souvenirs or some sort of, that he kept from the people that he may have killed, and they were trying to see if he had stuff like that stored somewhere, and they could maybe link it back to one of the victims.
Yeah, no, it's insane. Yeah, I don't know if you've ever been to that part of the country, but yeah, it's deciduous forests, a lot of just winding roads, sparsely populated. Outside of like the big cities. I think the biggest city in Vermont is Burlington.
Yeah, Burlington. Yeah.
Growing up, I used to ski in Killington, Vermont, which is in Rutland, which is kind of like the middle southwest part of the state. But there's not a lot going on. I used to live in Connecticut too. Like, not a lot going on up there. So I could see how, they could flub this.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, they haven't solved it yet, so it happened. And these are all from like 85, 2004. There were 78 to 88, and then 2004 are, if you want to believe that Maitland and Murray are connected to the same person, then yeah.
Yeah, I don't think it's the same person. I think these are just 3 one-offs.
Well, I mean, the other one has 8 people. I mean, so one isn't like, one's a serial killer, maybe the other 2 are something else. But I mean, it's interesting, don't you think, that Moore, Murray, and Maitland are the same year in 2004, and they're not really that far apart, but they're similar, kind of like there's this car that's off the road, strangely. Like her car's probably Moore Murray slid, and the other one didn't, but they're not near their car and they're missing. So I mean, it makes it a little bit more interesting, right? Zozo sent me the Maitland one, and I was thinking, well, how would that be? And then I was looking at it, and we were talking about how the car was, like there's a car found, and the person isn't with the car, so it's similar to about 4 or 5 of the different serial killer cases, just like that. And like I was listening to you earlier, like only a dude would back that into like the barn, like. Yeah, but it also could be like, I mean, hide it or what? I mean, I don't think why she would do it unless, let's say she pulled down there and then the car shows up and she's trying to back out to get away and then gets kind of blocked in somehow. I don't know. It's kind of a strange way to park. Regardless, it's almost like the car was straight and then it rammed backwards to try to get the front towards the road, but then it goes into the house. Pretty strange. Yeah, no, it's very odd. It makes me think that there may have been a struggle in the car and they were trying to like throw the transmission into drive or, reverse, and either her or somebody that was in the car with her, just slammed it into the back of that barn. Yeah, because the way that it looks is just very awkward. Yeah. Yeah. No, and then with the Murray case too. Yeah, that whole thing is weird because it was snowing. It was like the middle of the winter, if I believe. I think it was January. There's no cell service. Like, who just walks away from their car? I think that's an abduction for sure. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it just looks like it's similar to the other ones for sure. And just kind of. But they found those bodies, so maybe in 2004, if it's the same person, he got better at hiding. Although, a lot of these killers want bodies to be found because they like reading about it in the news and feeling important. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that is true. And I don't know my New England geography as well as I used to, but I think Murray was in New Hampshire, and that's what we're talking about with the barn is in Vermont. But I think it's less than an hour or 2 away drive. I mean, it's pretty small and just woodlands up there, so it could potentially be the same guy. Yeah. Yeah, it could be. Very well could be. So it's very. Yeah.
Very interesting. I mean, yeah.
I wish we had more information.
Man, I'll let you get back to
I wish the police would just give us more information, like, you know, a little bit more about what's going on, to dig in a little bit more on various things. I mean, there's almost no information on this Jeffrey guy. He has, like, if you go to those sites where, you know, like Ben Verified, just nothing. I mean, just as like a name, an address, no like past anything. It's pretty weird, pretty just like off the grid.
Yeah. I think that town was like, if I recall, I think it's like less than 10,000 people. So like, come on, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Can't you look at registered sex offenders? Can't you look at convicted felons? Can't you look at people that?
Well, he was called
frequented that.
Well, they referred to him as the killer there. Yeah, everyone called him a killer. Yeah, they already apparently knew that this guy was a killer. I mean, I don't know. It's pretty strange. Like there's this Facebook group out there, and it's his house, but everybody had already been referring to this person as the Kelleyville killer. Is that weird?
Yeah, that is weird. Yeah, I think he's the guy. Yeah, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think it's just like, you know, New England, especially when you get up into those sticks in Vermont and New Hampshire, it's just like a backwater. I don't think the cops, maybe they get one homicide a year. I don't know if they flubbed it. I don't know if they're just in over their heads. I don't know if they should have called the FBI. I don't know. You know, how they can't just pin it on this guy, because he seems like, you know, the number one prime suspect, at least in my purview.
Yeah, well, he's the number one suspect because they're searching his house, but like we don't really know the reason why or anything. You know, I mean, they know it's related. Well, they know it's related to the case, but we don't know what made them go look at his house. And I guess it's not, you know, it's not our right to get to know that, but obviously it was pretty important. So maybe an arrest is coming up soon, depending on what they found at that house. But obviously there was enough. There was enough things pointing to him where a judge signed on a search warrant to go look in his house. I don't, you know, it's only like 51%. That's what the burden is on it. So. Yeah,
and this is all the trappings of Richard Allen and the Gilgo Beach guy, you know, years and years later, you know. And they finally turn up at their house. And we'll see how it happens or how it shakes out.
Yeah. Man, it's just struggling on my computer over here. Things aren't working. I'm kind of getting distracted. Yeah. Sorry.
All right, man. Well, hey, I'll let you get back to your computer and back to the show. You know, I love you guys and the freaks.
Yeah. Well, thanks. Go see if you can go figure out what a gigawatt is. Let me know. All right.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I was going to ask you one last question. How's my boy Blue doing?
He's doing pretty good.
That's good. Yeah, he's a sweet dog. And then, you played any golf yet this season?
Not much in the last couple months. I played pretty well. I was in a tournament like 2 months ago and hadn't played in 2 months before that, and I was just on fire. I was just like, I don't know, it was crazy. I made it, you know, it was a scramble. I think we ended up at like, you know, and it was one of these things where they intentionally made the holes on the worst places you could possibly put them on a green, where if you putted up and you missed, it would roll back down. I mean, it was crazy, but we ended up like I think 11 or 12 under. I mean, it was insane. Like we all just buried these ridiculous putts. Like the people who set up the tournament were shocked. I mean, we were even third place out of 30 teams. There was one that, you know, people that were better. It was crazy, but I mean,
yeah, you just had a good day out on the lakes. Yeah,
they didn't think anybody would even break par that day, because I see awesome. Why too. It's like every time we got a birdie, we were just going, "Oh my God, we just pulled that one out." If we had missed that putt, we would have got a bogey, because it rolls up and then rolls back down, and then it's like, I mean, it's ridiculous. But anyways, cool.
Yeah. Right on, Gray. Well, hey, I'll let you get back to the show, man. We'll talk soon.
All right, man. Have a good one. Thanks for calling in.
All right, you too, brother. Yeah.
Let me know what a gigawatt is. All right, see you. Bye. All right, bye.
All right, man.
Hey, bye. Yeah. Thank you, Donna Aldridge. I sent you an email about another murder in 2004 in the same area. Huh? Is it something similar too? Like, let's see. Oh, and also, I did get Zozo sent me another picture of the car. I mean, it just shows it from the other side. So there it is. I mean, it looks, yeah, obviously you could tell that's kind of what it did. But man, that really hammered. Oh, you can't see it. Hold on. Right there. It bashed into the wall there, you know. All right, let me see if I can find what you just mentioned. How do I send it? What do you mean, how do you send an email? What does that mean? Oh, thank you, Alicia. Police name third suspect in Collins slang. Oh, but you're talking to that person up above, right? That magic person. This one right here. I know, but you were just talking about it, so why did you send it to me? Anyways, a convicted ex-murderer is... Oh, no, you're saying it is, but you don't know if it is connected. Magic, right? Yeah. A convicted axe murderer is a third suspect in the killing of Liga Ray Collins, 25, of Burlington City, police said Monday, 2 days after searchers discovered the body in the remote woods of Ripton. Timothy Cruz, who pleaded no contest in 1987. So this is 2004 in August. 1987 to second-degree murder for his role in the killing a teenager with an axe years earlier in Westford, was returned to prison July 13th for violating the terms of his supervised release. I mean, was he arrested for this? Have they solved this case here? Collins' live-in boyfriend, Ramon Ryans, reported her missing July 5th, police said. A week later, authorities said they believed she was dead and said they had two suspects. Chittenden County State Attorney Robert... Yeah, I don't know. It's hard to just jump into something cold. I'll try to look it up later or something. I don't want to just start... I mean, what I do is I spend like hours getting all the different things in order to go through them. That one's just like one random link out of time, you know. And plus, nobody's typing anything. I don't even know what... What's going on? I'm just listening, Gray. How come so many people have so much to say on the drama shows? Man, they're just typing and typing and typing. And let's see. Yeah, maybe she accidentally backed her car. Why though? Why would she? How did she accidentally back her car into the side of a building? That means you had to drive intentionally down there and then back it in. You know, if the front of the car hit the side of the building, I might believe that, especially on the other side of the building. But this means she drove by and then sort of had to back in next to it. Yes, hit that like button. And thanks again up there, Donna D, that helped out quite a bit there. Panicking. Panicking. All right, the number's not on the screen. All right, let me go back to the other one. Well, call in, everybody. How about you call in about whatever the hell you want to call in about? Doesn't even have to be about this. I'd rather just do something. But I'm trying to get people to call in that are from this area, know who this Jeffrey Champagne guy is. They know why people are saying, they're calling him different names, the Kelleyville killer and everything. And I'm just trying to figure that out. And it seems kind of weird to me that people have all been suspicious of this guy and called him these names. And then they did a search at his house. You know, was it related to that? Were people's stories about him following them or something? And then that was enough for a warrant? I don't know. But the thing that is interesting, mainly interesting to me about this person, without having anything else, is this information right here. You know, this is the thing that I was looking up and found. You know, you have, you know, Robert P. Champagne and Mrs. Robert P. Champagne. The mothers, the mother and father of Jeffrey Philip Champagne. And then before this, there had been 2 murders. But after the 2 parents are dead here, there were 5 more actually. 5 murders, and they were kind of rapid, like pretty quick after this, in a 2-year period. And this one is October 1st, 1983, the mother. And then just 3.5 months later, the father dies in January of 1984. And then right here, it says that, I mean, he's only 54 years old and 57 for the mother. Both of them died of sudden illnesses. Doesn't that mean something? But, you know, interestingly, after the mother died, let's see, so it would have been October, all of November, and then almost all of December. So 3 months after, see, what are the odds of this? That the mom dies, 3 months later, her mom dies, and right there it says Ida Lawrence, the mother, and here's Ida Lawrence on December 26, 1983. Just 3 months later, she dies of a long illness. You know, but that might be, you know, these people weren't sick probably prior. She was, so if she died of something, they just said long illness. They wouldn't know what to call it. But I think it's interesting. And then just 20 days later, after the grandmother dies, then Robert dies again of a sudden illness. Does anybody else find that just astonishingly unlikely? And then after that, he attacks Bernice Kudamonch, I guess, something like that. And then Ellen Freed, Eva Morse, Linda Moore, Barbara Agnew, that was 1987. So, you know, right away though, there's 1, 2, and 84 just after the parents died, like, you know, within 6-7 months of that. And then 85, 86, 87. And then after that, that's when he put out this ad here. This is from, Look at the ads. They're from May 28, 1988, right around this time frame. May 29th, 28th, 27th. So he put all these ads in the paper on a dating site. And that was in May, on May 20, almost June, right? And then on, that was 88. And then just 2 months later, on August 6th, that's when Jane Borowski, the survivor, was attacked. Maybe these dates didn't turn out that well. Or there's people that went missing after answering these ads. Don't know. Yeah, it sounds to me like it's one of those things like rat poisoning. You know, you give it to them and they suddenly start getting ill and nobody can figure out what the hell's going on. I mean, 2 sudden illnesses and they die. What does that even mean, for God's sakes? I mean, they don't get specific in these things, but to say they died of a sudden illness. Sudden illness. So I'm hoping, though, that there's people that will call in that are from the area. I don't know if this lady is doing it. Let's see. Let me get the phone number here. I'll just post it in this group and see what happens. Why the hell not? I don't know, is it locked? CT Valley River Valley. CT Valley River Killer. I thought it was River Valley. I don't know. Let's see. Let me get the post. I'm going to post it again. See if I can get lucky. You never know. You never know. Alright, try it again. I just posted it in that Kelleyville Killer group. See if it works. No investigation into those. I don't know what that means, Cindy. No idea what that means. Didn't one of the nurses feel ill? Thought I heard that. Yeah, well, one of them, I don't know if it was the nurse, but she showed up to work for 45 minutes and then said she was sick and left. I'm not sure which one that was. I should probably make like a cheat sheet for all of them. Maybe I'll do that. Thank you, Little Puppy Paws 99. I read the survivor story today. Yeah, the baby lived, yeah. I think we found that out last night. Yeah, it wasn't even harmed. It's crazy. Maybe it was Agnes. What do you mean? Oh, Agnes. Is that one of their names? You mean Eva? That one? Or Agnew, you mean? Let's see. Spent Saturday skiing. No, that's the one, the skier one. It's not that one. This Claremont woman sought by police department. Friday morning, her car was found apparently yesterday participating in the search. Okay, let's see. This is freed. About 30 people continue their search. Freed, a nurse in the Valley Regional Hospital in Claremont, has been missing since Friday. Yesterday's search ended apparently, somebody said that Champagne's mother worked at this hospital. Yesterday, search ended unsuccessfully about 6 p.m. The search team. All right, let's see. Yeah, this one she failed to show up for work. So I don't think that's the one. Maybe it's Kudamach. That's another nurse. 2 in a row were nurses. I mean, don't you find that interesting? Yeah, that Bernice and then Ellen, 2 nurses in a row. I mean, that's got to mean something. 27-year-old nurse at the Region Valley Hospital. And look at how, don't you find that interesting too? So go back to here. Authorities have completed their first phase of the investigation into the disappearance of Ellen Freed of Claremont. Friday, registered nurse at the Valley Regional Hospital. Boom. Then we go to Kudamach. Ellen, that was the nurse here. Let's see. Bernice now. Oh, maybe that was just me reading that again. It was just happened to be in the same article. Wouldn't that be crazy, though, if they were both nurses at the same hospital? Now 18 was a student at Stevens High School when she reported missing on May 30th. So she was reported missing on May 30th, 1984, which is like just 5 months after his parents died. Hey, it's 1L Michelle. You are the king of true crime, she said. Well, at least some people think that. I definitely think I try to cover true crime the right way, but whether or not people think it's as entertaining and as fun, I can't control that. Was last heard from on Friday. Okay. I'm just trying to find the one that had the. Maybe it was Critchley, maybe? No, I think it's one of the later ones. Maybe like Morse or something. Michelle, Linda are taking care. She's doing very well. Morris was reportedly last seen on Dean Flats hitchhiking towards Claremont. That's different. But as a hitchhiker. See, doesn't it feel like he drives around and does some opportunistic killings? That's what I get out of it. Oh, there's a call. Hello, who's this? 7.
Okay, this is Rob. I'm not on the chat.
Okay, what's going on?
I don't live around there either, but I was just calling in regards to the reason nobody can find anything on the dude Jeffrey. Mm-hmm. Like myself, you can't find anything on me either, but it's just because of the way my life turned out to be. Like I ended up working like under the table. Mm-hmm. And never really paid taxes and had to move around a lot because of my job. Mm-hmm. And my the places that I rented, I didn't pay the utilities, so there's no record of that, which is basically what they would find on a background check or something. And so it's pretty much living under the table.
Yeah, he sort of seems like a hermit type. He's just kind of
exactly.
He might be living there, but he's sort of living off the grid while living there. If you know what I mean.
He's living in.
Yeah,
he's living in the shadows.
Interesting. Yeah. So, what else you got to say?
That's about all I had. I'm in Indiana.
Okay. Well, I might be going there at some point if they ever have the Delphi trial. I've been trying to.
Yeah, that's what got me into. That's what got me into all this true crime stuff. That's where I actually saw your first map, because I had one of them groups that for Delphi, because I'm in Richmond, Indiana.
Oh yeah. Yeah, a lot of crazy stuff going on out there. A lot of crazy coverage is what I meant to say of that case.
Oh, right.
It's nuts.
Yeah. You ought to check out this one dude. It happened a long time ago. His name was Larry Eiler. You ever heard of him?
I have heard of him.
Another Indiana serial killer.
Yeah, I've heard of him. I've never done a show on him, but I've definitely heard of him.
Yeah, it's still a cover up.
Oh, yeah?
Because the guy was gay and he was sleeping with one of the professors at ISU in Terre Haute, and I grew up in Terre Haute, so it's kind of. I'm 60. I wasn't around when that happened.
Did you grow up with Larry Bird? Did you know him? Or he was French Lick, wasn't he? Yeah, never mind.
Yeah, but he went to ISU. Actually, I was a kid. I went to summer school at ISU and we would go in the gym and watch some guys scrimmage and stuff. We went to their games all the time.
Yeah. He's one of the best players. Even if he was playing today, he'd be amazing. I mean, he was incredible. Yeah.
Yeah, them guys were awesome.
Yep. Well, thanks for calling in and sharing your. Getting us hooked up on why he might look like that. Well, thank you. Thanks for subbing.
All right.
Appreciate it. Have a good one.
All right. See you guys later.
Bye-bye.
All right. Bye-bye.
Oh, yeah? I went to ISU too, huh? Does he know any Odinists? Jesus. I wouldn't ask that even if he was still here. I wouldn't ask that. Hey, thanks. Thank you very much, Lawrence. Appreciate it. Hey, by the way, if anybody out there is a basketball fan, do you know what player, if they played today, would be? They're so unique that they would be probably the most famous player in the NBA if they were playing today. Anybody out there want to throw out a guess at what I would say who that would be? I think he's the most underrated player that I've ever seen. Even though he's not underrated like you mean to hear of him. Come on, go ahead, say it. No, he sucked. Rodman, Jesus, are you kidding me? He played hard and he was a hustler, but he wasn't, Why would you throw Rodman in there? No, not Pippen. No, not Pistol Pete. Pistol Pete would be. He played way ahead of his time too. But I'll tell you the one, man. You know who it is? It's George Gervin, the Iceman. That guy. See, the guys you're all mentioning aren't unique types. I mean, they're great players, but the way they play is just kind of a combination of. George Gervin was totally unique, man. This guy would come down. He was so smooth. And he had this finger roll he'd do from 15 feet away. Just go, phew, flick it over the top of people and it'd go in. He'd spin the ball off of any portion of the backboard and it would go in. He's unbelievable. If you go watch, why do you guys keep typing in? That's not who Dr. J? Jesus. Everybody, Dr. J was phenomenal, but... I'm saying if George Gervin was playing today, he would be absolutely the most watched player. People would be like, "What the hell? Did you guys see that thing when he?" It was crazy. Like, he'd do stuff where he'd be under the basket and just flick it up with a wrist, and it would spin delicately off the top of the backboard and spin right into the basket. And he'd score, like, he scored 70 points in a game one time. I mean, he's just, he's amazing. Yeah, he played for the Spurs. He was freaking awesome. You should go look him up sometime. No, that was Kareem Abdul-Jabbar is the skyhook guy. Just look him up sometime. The Iceman. I don't know. I think Magic Johnson's the best player that's ever played. Not Michael Jordan. Same initials, but Magic Johnson is so. He made everybody else better. And great scorer, passer, rebounder. I mean, he had it all. Well, the guy who invented the word skyhook was Eddie Doucette. So, there are magnets in the basketball. No, no, there's no magnets in the basketball. Yeah. And thank you, Lawrence, again. Thank you very much. Very kind, very kind. Hey, I heard there are magnets in the basketball. Anyways, just for the hell of it on the side, you guys should go look up George Gervin or the Iceman highlights. I mean, they're ridiculous, They called him the Iceman because when he played, he never sweat. He was just like so cool, just coming down, bing. Man, unbelievable. One to say that Eddie Doucette said it. The announcer came up with, I think, skyhook. Anyways, who else is calling in regarding the case? Come on, you guys. Come on. Yeah, Gervin's still out there. I see him in interviews all the time. But I want you guys to come back with a report. Go watch the shit he would do, man. Bank shot from anywhere. Flick it up under the basket. Unbelievable. And there's what's weird is there aren't players like that anymore. There used to be this weird sort of variety of just totally crafty, creative players. Now there's people like Luka Doncic is kind of like that, but there just isn't really a lot of those, It used to be more of an art. Now it's kind of a, everybody just shoots threes and that's about it. I wish they would get rid of... what I want them to do in the NBA? Is to limit teams to, I think, 30 three-pointers a game that count as threes. So after you've taken the first 30, those can be worth 3, but then after that, they're only worth 2. Because I'm just so sick of it. Every time down the court, you just jack up a three-pointer, and it's just... The beauty of the game has gone away. Sucks. Boring. I mean, it's still fun, but I don't like that crap. Oh, well, he could take all 30 of them, Daryl. Yeah. Oh, yeah? Oh, I kind of remember that. True Sleuth. LeBron James is flipping out, you mean. Yeah. Yep. So what's next on this case, you guys? What do we do? I'd like to be able to figure more out, but I can't. There's no information on him. And we've already gone over all the victims. So I guess we just sort of wait now. That's why I want callers to call in to add more context to what we're, so we just heard. Who was that? What was his name? Was that Lawrence that just called in? I mean, I don't know. I forgot his name right away. Is that who that was? Larry or Lawrence or... Oh, Rob. Okay, that was Rob. Okay, Lawrence is the one that just sent a Venmos. So thank you. That was very kind. Appreciate it. So is Rob. Okay. Oh, maybe they're in the chat. I won't say the name. I won't link the two names in here if you pop up in there. Sorry about that. That's right, Mark. You were gifted a membership earlier. Wonder if this guy Champagne ever had the wood-paneled Wagoneer the survivor described. I don't know. I actually don't remember that. Thank you, M. Jordan Jarding. Wouldn't that be cool to be able to go back in time and see that? He has a Camaro listed as an asset. That doesn't look like one there. I mean, look how creepy this whole thing is, though. This little locked gate, you know. And you bring somebody back there, and I mean, look, there's one, like, all these things, all this here is newer. Or I don't know, maybe this was there a long time ago and this was added, but it seems like there used to be just a brick house and then this was added at one point. That's a Camaro right there? Really? Yeah, it looks like garbage. Oh, I guess from the side it doesn't look as bad. Well, there you go. It does look like one from the side. Yeah, it doesn't look like one from over here as well. I mean, I don't know. That looks kind of... I guess it kind of does. Yeah. My friend had a 1970 and a half Camaro. So it was the last of the old, that classic look. And he had one that had a... He told me what it had. It was a... He had... So I have it memorized. Hey, thanks, 1L Michelle. So he had... I don't even know what this shit means, but I remember what he had in it. It was 350 4-bolt main with Holley 750 CFM 4-barrel carb with a 4-speed shifter, 411 rear with posi traction, and that allows like the I think it's something about the wheels from, you know, one taking over too much and having the car spin out. And what else did it have? Yeah. I don't know why I remembered all that. That was from 1988 when he told me that. Hey, thank you, 1L Michelle. Oops, did I mention that Gray is the king of true crime? Well, thank you very much. Yeah, we'd drive somewhere and somebody would pull up next to him and he would just blow, I mean, just fly by them. Hello, Timothy Cecil. How you doing? Alright, let's see. That garage has seen better days. It almost looks fake. I mean, the way it's just the door and the sort of the wear of the... It just... I don't know. It's odd looking. The sliding door. Looks like how you would try to paint it. Like if you were out there trying to make a painting of something that looked old. Looks like it's open. You can see through the back window right there. So obviously it either rotates to the side or it just fell off and standing there. Definitely creepy, yeah. Well, who the hell's calling in? Man, 2 nights in a row, tried to do a show where the, maybe get a call from somebody that knows this guy and denied. Yep, gate has a lock on it. Makes you wonder. But I think I feel kind of cool that I found the single most compelling thing are the deaths of his parent and grandmother. That's it. Other than that, we don't have a clue what the hell they're looking at. But when you look at stuff like that, then, right around the time of the murders, it's pretty interesting, because then he has the house all to himself, and he got rid of anybody that even might come visit, right? Because the grandmother was the only person left that's a grandparent. So you had the grandparent, she's dead, and then both parents. Now, there isn't a soul that's going to be coming to that house ever, other than himself. And so that makes it kind of creepy, right? And then after that, he starts killing people. And if you notice, we know where the car was found, right? However, how do we know that each one of the victims he didn't take to his place and then dump their body at another time, because they weren't ever found in the direction where the car was? You could say that he was just trying to throw it off, but I mean, remember this one here was the which case was that one? Hold on, let me get this. Yeah. Oh man, I'm not sure why it has this tool out here. I don't want to use it. I just want to... There. Yeah, it's Ellen Fried. Or Freed. So look where her car was found. See, isn't this interesting, you guys? I mean, here is where Fried's car is found, right? Right here, just on this Benjamin place. So that means she was taken from there somewhere. But then her body's found over in this area, right next to where the house is here. So isn't that mildly interesting, kind of pointing? And think about it like this. Okay, so Fried is the... Oh, well, that makes it even more interesting, because that was 1984 in July. So let's see where Bernice Courtemanche was. Because it feels like, couldn't it be that he wanted to clear his house, or anybody that would just stop by that might have a key? They're all dead. And now he has this place of his own, so he could bring people back there. And that's maybe why they're searching there for any evidence that they were there. And then look at this. This is where Freed was found, somewhere in this general area, right next to the house. And the car was way over here. So now let's look at Courtemanche. Or Courtemanche, or whatever the hell it was. I can't remember now. So this is where, let's see, I can't remember if that's where she lived. And then where is is this where she was found, right here? Cat Hole Road. I mean, look at that too, you guys. Inside the same, we gotta look at these two again. You gotta admit that that's interesting. That at this time, he has nobody that lives at the house, no siblings, no grandmother, no mom, no dad. It's his house to do whatever he wants with. And then 5 months later, you have 2 murders One of their bodies is found right in this general area, and then another one is found sort of in the same Kelleyville area. So let's look at this Kudamanch again. Bernice Kudamanch, now 18, was a student at Stevens High School when she was reported missing on May 30th. Wilmot said she is white with dark hair, hazel eyes, 5'9", weighs 135 pounds, and is of medium complexion. Skeleton in Newport was woman Mortesset. Freed is one of 2 Claremont women who's been missing. So isn't that amazing? Freed and Bernice, both missing from Claremont. Bernice Kudamanch, or Kutamanchi, or whatever. I can't remember now what we called it. But now 18, was a student at Stevens High School when she was reported missing. She has not been heard from since. All right, then 1986, identified bodies of 2 at 2 sites. The remains of 2 unidentified bodies were discovered in separate instances Saturday. In Ashland, the body of a white woman was discovered about 12:30 p.m. in the woods near the intersection of Route 3 and Albrook Road. Authorities said the woman was found by fishermen and appeared to be between the ages of 40 and 60. All right, so the Attorney General in Newport, the skeletal remains of another person also found Saturday by fishermen in the woods off Cat Hole Road. Well, there you go. That's her. All right, that's her. Look at Newport skeleton, Claremont girl. Skeleton remains discovered Saturday have been identified as those of Bernice Kudamanch of Claremont and was a 17-year-old student at Stevens High School in Claremont when she disappeared May 30th. Wow, and this is her high school right here. Easy little drive over there for him. Man. Stevens High School. Now, all of a sudden this got sort of more interesting in my mind. So there's Stevens High School. And apparently she lived over here, but then her body's found there. And look at, he's just right in this middle of all this. And nobody's at his house. He made sure of that, perhaps. That's just a theory. The remains were found about a mile or 2 from the spot where the bones of Ellen... Man, isn't that amazing? So they're both found, and they're even saying that. Let's see. Let's measure this. That's 3.58, so I don't know. I don't have 100% no. I mean, maybe this was more of a here on this road, or a little, even closer, though. And maybe her body was found more over here. Now let's go look her up, I guess. 26, and then 85. So she was found in 85. First disappearance years ago continues a puzzle. That was July. Skeleton in Newport was woman Mortesset. The remains will be further. Among the missing women whose dental records will be checked is Ellen Fry. I think this one says, human bones that were found in a wooded area in Kelleyville section of town, September 19th, yesterday, were identified as the remains of Ellen Ruth Fry. So they were found on September 19th. Let me go back here. Let me look this up, try to get a more precise answer here. And don't be shy, everybody. If you'd like to help support the Gray Hughes Investigates YouTube channel, That would be absolutely fantastic. Can I sound more like a car dealership? No, it's been verified. That's not what I was looking for. Let's see. Newspaper.com. Okay. So let's see, by using the information in another one to narrow this down. Yeah, this one. Alright, so it was like nurse mystery continues. Among the missing women. Okay, so it's not that one. It's this last one here. Alright. So this says human bones that were found in a wooded area in Kelleyville section of town September 19th. Alright. So let's see. Human remains Kelleyville. And this was on September 19th, so we'll do let's see. September 1985. Oh, I spelled it Hoojman. Maybe that should work. No, that didn't work either. Kelleyville. Human remains. No, Newport. Actually, this other program is better for this state for some reason. But you have to kind of goof around, like go like human, even though it says name. Human remain, or maybe skeletal remains. That's New Hampshire, not Vermont. Okay, Jesus, my brain just went out of my... That's why I went and looked, because it didn't feel right. It should be in the same... New Hampshire. There you go. Okay, the 20th. This could be good right here. Here we go. This might be a good one. Human skeletal remains were found yesterday about noon by two people in a wooded area near the Sugar River in Kelleyville section of Newport. There you go. Kelleyville, a small settlement along Route 11 and 103 near the bridge over the Sugar River, is west of town of Newport. Okay, so... We were just looking at Newport a minute ago. But hey, I found it. That's sweet. Okay, there's Newport, so it's west of there. And then here's the Sugar River. And there's a bridge there. Let's see if there's another bridge. There's one there. And then here's one. God, if they're not, I hope they're not talking about this bridge. Because if it's this bridge, man, what do you just walk outside and toss into the water? Hey, thanks, Lanky Tor. Welcome to Richard Grave, Carrie Lou, Sticky Chaos, Cole, and Yosha Hosk. Here, I'm going to put this in the folder. There we go. Okay, let's read that again. A small settlement along Route 11-103 near the bridge. So Kelleyville, a small settlement along Route 11 and 103 near the bridge over the Sugar River. I'm not sure what they're saying there. Assistant Attorney General Stephen Winter said this morning. Winter said the bones were close to the riverbank and near the bridge. Okay. Which bridge? He would not speculate on the possibility that the person had been killed. The determination would be up to the pathologist. He did not know if the bones were male or female. The major... Okay, let me keep going down here. Ellen Fried, also 20. So they mentioned Fried. That's who it turned out to be, too. Nurse at Valley Regional Hospital left her locked car with her pocketbook inside. It parked on Jarvis Lane off Plains Road. So now I really got to get this... I want to figure this out right here. There might be another one on the next day. See, there's a 21st, and there's one on the 20th. So this could be also picked up again, talking about it. Yeah, but there's 3 bridges, Kyle. So when you say yes, the bridge, it's not really helpful. Let's see. Oh, yes, the bridge, everybody. Sure, yeah, the bridge. Yeah, the bridge. State officials say they will complete the examination next week of human remains found Tuesday in the Kelleyville section of town. The remains are being examined by Dr. Dennis J. Carlson. A human skull, thorax, leg, and arm bones were found by 2 people in a wooded area in Kelleyville, a small settlement west of Newport. God, you don't find that just extremely compelling that a guy... Yeah, we already knew the Jarvis Lane, Jarvis. We already got that. Yeah, we got it. I'm going to try it in the other repository over here, too. If none of the 4 people skeleton remains will look at missing people over a wider area, not yet identified. 2 women, Eva Morse, 27, in Charleston, and Ellen Fried, also 27, in Claremont, disappeared in the Claremont area in the past 14 months. So that's another one. Eva Morse, too. And Courtemanche. Or Courtemanche. All right, so here's a bridge here. Is this the bridge they're talking about? I mean, if this is the bridge they're talking about, that's crazy. I mean, there's Newport West, and then here's the bridge. I mean, that if she was found near this bridge, that's freaking nuts. Okay, so that means you gotta. And that's where. Well, that's not her. That's not. That's just. This is the one I had. So hell, that would be right here. So there's that bridge, and then if you follow it up, there's another one right here. I'm sure they weren't talking about that. There is one there, though. So, and there's one there. So there's 1, 2, there's 4 they could be talking about. But to just sort of randomly, oh, the bridge, it seems like it's the main bridge. Right? What do you guys think? Man, if you guys could type a little bit more, have some thoughts, I'd really appreciate it, you know. It's like talking to a empty room or something. I'm going to read this one again. Human skeletal remains were found yesterday about noon by 2 people in a wooded area near the Sugar River in Kelleyville section of Newport. Kelleyville, a small town, a small settlement, along routes 11 and 103 near the bridge over the Sugar River. Wow, so they're saying that, this is, Kelleyville is right here, this little tiny area. I mean, if you type in Kelleyville, New Hampshire, it looks like this. See how they put a pin right there. This is the bridge that's in the town. And her body was found near there? That's insane. And then her let's see. Yeah, it's Cat Hole Road right there. That's where her car, I think, was found for Courtamanche. Or Courtamanche. I don't know, man. That really doesn't look good for him. She lived there, car there, or her body. Let's see. Now I don't remember what we said for her now. I gotta go back. Newport skeleton, Claremont girl. Skeleton remains discovered Saturday have been identified as those of Bernice L. Courtamanche of Claremont, who was 17 years old, student at high school in Claremont. The remains were found about a mile or 2 from the spot where the bones of Ellen Ruth Freed, a 27-year-old nurse at Claremont Valley Regional Hospital, were discovered. Freed disappeared from Claremont July 20th, 1984, just 52 days after Courtamanche was reported missing. A spokesperson for so they were just, alright, so it's May 30th and then July 20th. The investigation of the 2 deaths and 5 other still unidentified bodies discovered in the state during the last 10 months point to the need for more investigators. The remains of Courtamanche are in Augusta, Maine, where forensic examination will be. So she was found. Skeleton remains discovered Saturday. This is Wednesday. So that's interesting. So April. Let's find this one too now, I guess. So this is Courtamanche. Now we can get the exact spot of this one. So this one is April 23rd, 1986. That's a Wednesday. So we go backwards. 22nd, 21st, 20th, 19th. So the 19th would be Saturday. So let's look at that. Let's go up here. 1986 though. So it'd be April 1986 and skeletal remains. Alright. So yeah, now we've got 19th, so maybe the 21st. Unidentified skeletal remains. Okay, here we go. Let me put this in that folder of Courtamanche. Man, this all of a sudden got more interesting, didn't it? The skeletal remains of an unidentified person were found in a wooded area off the Cat Hole Road in the Kelleyville section of Newport. So that's where the skeletal remains were found. A fisherman found the remains around noontime on Saturday, according to Andrew Sorrell, an attorney with the New Hampshire Attorney General's office. Clothing was found in the area of the body, Sorrell said, but he would not describe it or say whether it was the body. The police have made arrangements for an autopsy to be done by Dr. Henry Ryan. Meanwhile, the state police continue. So if it was found by a fisherman, then is it just somebody driving around, or do we go all the way over here? And does it run into, I mean, there's the river. I don't see it running into there. It's on this road here. I mean, it could be over here, right? Like closer to, Cat Hill Road, and then it's still Cat Hill Road, and it's still that, and then it stops becoming that right there. And then, I don't know if, maybe at one time this was renamed and it was still called that, or even this. But, now you're getting closer to here, where it'd be 2 miles. Thank you, Donna. A fisherman found the remains around noontime on Saturday, according to Andrew Sorrell. Cat Hill Road in Kelleyville section of Newport. Let's see if the next day it's better. So here we go. We got 21st, then the 22nd, because they didn't get identified for a few days here. Body found in Newport, still not identified. General office said the morning that a new, I guess it still says skeletal remains found near Kelleyville section in Newport. On Saturday, a fisherman discovered the remains of an unidentified body off of Cat Hill Road near Kelleyville in Newport. The clothes were found near the body, but would not say whether the body was closed. Well, if you say near the body, then the body wasn't closed, right? The police have not released any information as to the exact location of the body. Ah, man. Its age or gender. So a fisherman, though, probably would have had to get out of his car off of that road and go fishing. So it's got to be near a river or a pond or something. 23rd. So this is the day I think it was identified. Remains girl who vanished 2 years ago. Bernice Kudamunch. Hey, thank you, Lanky Tor. Skeletal remains found in Kelleyville section of Newport last Saturday have been identified as those of Bernice Kudamunch. I'm just going to say Kudamunch. I keep trying to say it the way somebody said it, but now I don't remember. Of Unity, the New Hampshire Attorney General's office announced yesterday. Kudamunch was 17 at the time she disappeared on May 30th, 1984, almost 2 years ago. She was last seen by her boyfriend's parents at their home in West Claremont, where she had been staying. She was believed to be hitchhiking to visit her boyfriend, Toby Colby, at his brother's home. I'm going to save this one. It's a better article than the one I had. The complete forensic examination of the remains will be finished tomorrow by Dr. Henry Ryan. Members of the Kudamunch family have not discussed the identification of Bernice yesterday, but said they might make a statement in several days. Hold on. God. Ding, ding, ding. Well, that doesn't work. Oh, that's right. And here we go. Oh, okay. Maybe we can get some help off of this map here, because these are generally pretty good. But so Freed was right there. Okay, let's see. We've got the Claremont, right? Okay, they're showing where she was found. Ah, wow, so the body of, that's crazy. So she was found, based on this map over here, like, just at 103, right? Is this 103? Yeah, 103, and then just downstream, by the bridge, I guess. So we're talking about, like, right here. I mean, that has got to be of some interest here. I mean, you gotta admit, like, that's ridiculous at that point. Welcome to Remy Stuff, Lil Andy, Eileen. I'm using the other show's income too, so I made it past the goal to give you guys the memberships. Eileen Daniels, Lisa, and Brandy Conigliaro. There we go. Welcome. Yeah, so the map, look at that right here. Let me zoom in. See, like there's 103, and it's this is right. That's where Ellen Fried's body was, just off of 103, and that's where the bridge was. And then her body was found over here. Really? Or let's see. So no, she went missing May 30th, and then and then her body was found right up in here. That's kind of where I had it on the map, up in there. But maybe it's a lot closer. Let me move it off the screen so I can see what I'm looking at. Try to figure it out based on the way they have the roads here. Okay, so I see this. It goes like that. Then that's 120, yep, and then it goes like this. And then her body is like in here somewhere, but it says it's off that. Yeah, well, that's the road, so we're generally in the right place here. Hey, thank you so much, Kelly Snyder. Just trying to get this dialed in a little bit better. Yeah, so this road shows up on the map, and it's like directly across-ish. So could be like right around in this area. Let me measure this distance. They said 2 miles, but that's 3.51. But who knows how accurate that is. See, they've got it up there. I guess there's no chance at GPS coordinates. Come on! What the hell is that? Nuclear testing. What do you mean? There's only one Gray Hughes in PayPal. I'm it. Don't we have a link to it? It's right here. This is the link for me in PayPal, Robert. Like inside this, right there, that link right there, that's mine. That's inside of that. If you want to help out. If not, that's cool too, though. Thanks, Kelly Snyder. But in that link that I just posted there, that's like a link tree, has everything in there. What about Under Armour, Daphne? What about it? No, you haven't said one word all night, and you type in the word Under Armour. Wow, that. Thanks for the insight. I just showed you the link right there. The link tree. There's just me. That has it on there. See that? If you click on the link tree here, it's right here, watch. That's it. The one that looks like that. Lance G. Hughes. That's what my name is Gray Hughes, but as I've told you, the stories are when I was born, that I have a brother Garrett and a brother Grant, and they put L. Gray Hughes, and then the doctor wrote Lance as my name. And my parents left it that way, but I was always called Gray. That's my name, you know. You see it? That one right there? And it's all it says is PayPal me /GRAYHUGHES. This one right here. That's me. I'm the only one. And it's also in this link tree here, see? Huh? Oh, somebody actually asked a question about it? But Daphne, you hadn't said a word all night, and then that's the only thing you say is answer that? Oh, jeez. Yeah, it's Under Armour, yeah. It's really good clothes. I mean, like, it's really comfortable. Oh, the story I was trying to tell you earlier, check this thing out. Like, years ago, we'd play Keno. Like, we'd go, after we play golf, we go to a bar and play Keno, and this one old guy, he'd have me play these numbers. 3, 4, 11, 16, 23, 66, right? So there's this game called Win for Life, and you can put like, for $20, you get like 10 days in a row where it spins, and I played 3, 4, 11, and I don't know what I used for the fourth number, okay? I don't know. And I did that, I don't know, a couple times, and then I quit playing, or I didn't do it, and then I decided, let me just let the computer do it. And I go in and I look, and guess what the numbers were? The winning numbers of the actual Win for Life numbers. You can win the lower numbers. It was 3, 4, 11, 66. And I was thinking to myself, and I looked around to try to find, did I put 6? If I didn't keep playing, how horrible would that have been? I mean, had I kept playing, I would have won the damn thing. But I said to myself, I don't know what I put, and I don't really want to know what the fourth number was. Okay? I don't want to know. Yeah, their clothing fits really well. It's crazy. It's wild. I'm hoping I put 23 or something, or 50. I mean, if the winning numbers had 55, 56, 57, I wouldn't even have thought about it. I would have went, oh, I almost had it. But they actually used the number that I used. So then I wasn't sure. I'm not sure. Pretty weird, pretty weird. Yeah, wow. I think this got more interesting the way we just analyzed this situation, don't you think? That you've got this, he lives right here. They were searching this house. Okay, let's tell the story now from what we just learned here. And now I'm pretty interested in Eva Morse for a second. Where the hell was she? Charleston Police Department. Eva Morse, 27-year-old Charleston mother who has been missing since July 10th. Okay, who was the other one? I'll go over what I was saying in a minute. Morse. Okay, so she's way away from there. So let's just look at it like this. This is why this is interesting now. Let me just do the profiling, or whatever the hell you want. I'm not a professional at it or anything, but it's not really profiling. It's just what is going on here. So watch this. So again, we're going to go back in time. There was 2 killings, 1978, 81. 78, he would have been 23. 81 would have been 26 or so. And then there was nothing for a few years that we were aware of. There could have been somebody. And then again, we're going to do this again. October 1st, 1983, his mom dies of a sudden illness. That alone, you'd go, oh, wow, I wonder what happened. Then, 3 months after his mom died, his grandmother, who had a long-term illness apparently, she dies. Then 20 days after his grandmother died, his father died of a sudden illness on January 16, 1984. So in a 3.5-month period, every single person that likely had access to the house that he's living in are all dead. Then, on, let's see, May 30th, 1984, just 4.5 months or so after the father dies, you have Bernice Kudamach, who lived over here, very close to his house, and then her body was found right here, which is just right in the area where he lives. She goes missing from here, and then she actually went to, I think she went to high school here, unless Freed was the high schooler. I can't remember, but it was right here. Let me make sure. Yeah, so Kudamach went to Stevens High School. So look at the geographical profiling crap here. Watch. Boom, 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 and he's right in the center of this damn thing. Like if you did a line, you went like this. This is where her body was found. She goes to high school there, and here, and he's almost right in the, if you could just move it down slightly, he'd be right inside of that thing. You see that? He's right there. Okay, and then just 2 months after that, Ellen Fried dies. And she actually, let's see, I think she lived over here in this town also. Yeah, right. She lived on 25 Chestnut Street. And then what's Eva Charleston? I don't know what that is. Who's Eva? Oh, Eva Morse. Okay, I got that in the wrong folder. Let me put that over here. All right. And then her body is found right there. Hold on a second. Right here. Here, you're going to have to hold for a second. I'm in the middle of speaking. And her body was found right here. And let's see, what was the other part? I just was looking at it. And her car was found, oh yeah, way over here, right? So her car's dumped there. That means her body was put into a vehicle. She lived here, right around in this, on 25th, right there, 25 Chestnut Street. And then her body's found right in the water. So can't you see that he was using his house? I think he would, if that's him, if he's the killer, then he got rid of all of the people in the house that had access to that house, and then he started killing people and bringing them back to his house, and then dumping the body somewhere else after abducting them where their car was found. I mean, I think that's really obvious. Anyways, are you still there, caller? I don't know. Well, call in again. But I think that's it, man. I think that absolutely makes sense. And then Eva Morse, Linda Moore, Barbara Agnew. I bet you he took them all back to that house if he's the guy. I mean, just look at the timing on that. Don't you think that's amazing that all his parents, his grandmother die, all in a 3.5 month period, 2 of them with sudden illnesses, which, I mean, 54-year-old and 57-year-old, that's ridiculous. And they both died of sudden illnesses. Now the house is all to himself, and then just 4 months later, there's already deaths right around there. One of them was found in the water right near where he lives. Another one's found in the same general area, just a couple miles away. Man, that's absolutely insane. All right, so who just called in? You can call in again. Hey, thanks. Let's see. Alicia and Robert on PayPal. Thank you very much. So it worked. See, there you go. So he could have the house to do those things. I know. Doesn't that make sense? I mean, just as a really basic level, maybe his parents sort of realized what he was up to. He was like, or, you know, just a little bit, they were too around for him to do what he wanted to do. And then all of a sudden, every single adult figure in his life is now dead. And he has this whole house all to himself. And then we just, 4 months later, there are 2, you know, missing people that's bodies were, you know, they went missing for quite a long time. And then a year or so later is when they were found. I mean, it is really, really, really suspicious. I mean, that is where, again, but we have these kind of coincidences in cases. This is just one of those ones you can't really ignore either, right? Pretty wild, pretty wild. Yep. And then let's see, let's just check out, now we're going to go look at Morse again. But what was happening with her? This is the next woman in the line here. This is, looks like in 1985. It's so weird because, like, she goes missing around the time that the other bodies were found, you know. The Charlestown Police Department is seeking information concerning the whereabouts of Eva Morse, a 27-year-old Charleston woman who has been missing since July 10th. Morse was reportedly last seen on Dean Flats hitchhiking towards Claremont. Maybe she's the one that was not feeling well. The police department has received several telephone calls on possible sightings of the woman, but nothing is confirmed. A front-page advertising concerning the missing woman appeared in yesterday's Eagle Times newspaper. Morse reportedly was wearing a light blue windbreaker, a medium to dark blue terry shirt, and blue jeans. The woman is approximately 5'6" and weighs 200 pounds. She has brown hair and eyes and usually wears glasses. Morse reportedly showed up at the J&H Dunning Court plant in North Walport, where she works, this is it, at 7 a.m. on July 10th, but left because she didn't feel well. Corporal Edward Riker of the Charlestown Police Department said every lead concerning the women has been followed. Riker said it would be unlike Morse to leave the area since, you know, and I bet you after they found the bodies, let me go back again to, was it Fried was the one that was found right next to the house, right? And when was she identified? This is going to be nuts. Watch this. Watch this. Oh, God. Yeah, so there was an article on July 19th. And what date did they have in here? July 10th is when she went missing. So he probably was feeling safe again. And then the skeletal remains were identified on September 24th. Police have no leads in missing mother probe. That's still her, Morse. And then, so that was 7/24, and then 8/16/85. Police set up a roadblock and search for woman. And then it wasn't until 1986, second body is discovered near border. Let me go to this one. Now, let's see. Body found early Friday morning. This is Sunday, so on the 25th of April, by 2 loggers in woods off of a road in Unity, was tentatively identified through dental records as that of Eva Marie Morse. So let's see. So she's just right here. How many miles? It's not far away at all. Look at this. I'll go from his house. Yeah, 6 miles. Nothing. Yeah, I think they got the right guy. I don't know, man. It just that just seems like it. Given all that information right there. That's crazy. Now the last one, there isn't any missing people anymore. 1988 was his last attempted homicide. The last one that was found dead was Barbara Agnew. He started changing up his MO a little bit. I mean, it wasn't Linda Moore, isn't that the one? Yeah, that's the one in the house. So see, that's everything changed after the first ones. So you have, I mean, this one's inside of a house, which is absolutely totally opposite of his MO. Then we've got Barbara Agnew, which seems a little different too. Like she was at a truck, like a rest stop after skiing somewhere. So, yeah, no, it's this is pretty crazy. Man, I think I just convinced it even more to myself just by putting that last few little pieces there together. I didn't realize, look how wild that is. That Fried is found in the water just out of his house, almost like he was like, this is, look at, you could think of him thinking like this. He left her car way over, where was it? It was kind of on a, yeah, way over here on this random lane, Benjamin Place right here, but it's actually, it had a different name. It just doesn't, it's now called Benjamin Place, but it's a different lane. So the car was found right there. So he probably thought, okay, her car's there, that's where they're going to be looking, which is absolutely correct. And then he just, I mean, I'm going to guess that the river flows this direction. If not, then he would have had to drive her down on Chandler Mill Road and just dump her body in the river really quick and then go back to his house. So let's see if we can find out which way it's going here. Kind of looks like it's going that way based on how there's debris on that side and then it's smooth on that side. But what I really need is like a dam or something. And see, that's leaning that way. Yeah, it's hard to tell. But I mean, the items I've seen so far look like it's going this way. I mean, I guess I could type it in. What direction does the Sugar River flow? South, no, in New Hampshire. River flows west through the town of Newport. So I think that's right. Yeah, so it goes this direction. So that, wow, look how crazy that is. Like, he's just at his house even. Hell, he could probably just, like if you're done, he just goes, yeah, and then just goes right down through here late at night, throws her into the river there, and then the current from being in the water would have her go this direction, and then maybe got caught up somewhere down here, and she, was found there a year later or so. Man, that's nuts. And didn't think anybody would be looking there because he's, the car is somewhere else. What do you guys think of that? No, I've seen it, Donna. I've seen it. I don't know if that's really him or not, though. That's the thing. So I don't want to put somebody's face on there. People claim stuff like that, but it's hard to know for certain. And by the way, these are all the different victims here. Right there. Eva Morse. That's the survivor. I don't know who the rest of them are specifically, but maybe they have them in order. That does look like 78. So if these are in order, it would be Kathy Milliken, Mary Elizabeth Critchley, Bernice. That looks like, she's young. Kudamanch, Ellen Fried, and then that would, Eva Morse, right order. Then Linda Moore, Barbara Agnew, and then Jane Borowski. So those are all in the correct order right there. All right, guys. Well, I think that's going to do it. Pretty much, somebody tried calling in, but they didn't call back again, so I'm going to shut that down. And, thank you guys for being here tonight, helping out, support the channel, and I think we made some progress on there, though. Doesn't that feel right after you go through it like that? He perhaps eliminates both his parents and a grandmother that might even show up to his house. Now he's all alone, and now he's setting out to kill different people and brings them back to his own home, and then leaves their car as a head fake somewhere else, and then puts them more close to his house. Hell, maybe even went and visited some of the bodies after a while. Who the hell knows? Then you got one that's right next to his house, another one that's not far away up in here. Then the other one, they've been pretty close to around the same area. I mean, if you just pan out, like all of these yellow pins are associated. I mean, there's even one up here. So all of this, I mean, it's just crazy. I'm going to see something. If you take his house, and what happens if you grab his house out of this, how far do you have to go before you're encompassing everybody? Just like that. Right there. That's nuts. I mean, that's not a really big area there. That's more Murray up there. And that's a different case. All right, well, thank you, Eugenie. Right out of the gate, Donna D, Kubi, Lil Puppy Paws 99, David Arnold, Pancakes, Alley Cake, Paulette Leonard, Michelle H, Donna D, Tracy D1233, Donna D, Jim Lawn, WNC Granny, Magic, Jim Lawn, Osiris Stewart, Donna D, Kubi gifted a membership, Donna D gifted 5 memberships, then David Arnold, and then we have Cheryl Bullock, Donna D, then Donna D did a cat eye, thank you very much, then Kathy Friedenmaker, David Arnold gifted a membership, then Donna Aldridge, Little Puppy Paws, 1L Michelle, Boggle Queen, M Jordan Jardin, 1L Michelle, and then Lanky Tor gifted 5 memberships, then Donna Aldridge, Lanky Tor, then I gifted 5 memberships, then Kelly Snyder, and then we also had let's see, looks like, whoa, hold on. Well, thank you. Trying to get the right. Teddy B for a few Venmos there. Thank you very much. Very kind, very kind. Then also Alicia and Robert on PayPal. So thank you. Anyways, what do you guys think of that show? I thought it was pretty interesting, even though we didn't get the callers again. And thanks, Zozo, for sending some of those images of the car, etc. For the, hold on. Yeah, Brianna Maitland. So, yeah, Brianna Maitland and Maura Murray are 2 different individuals up in the same area that are sort of similarly missing, right? I mean, can you see how that's kind of similarly missing? And that's 2004. Both of them, they're a little bit farther up north, but not that far away, within 120 miles or so. So, that's interesting that there's 2 of them in 2004 and they haven't been found yet. So, anyways, thank you guys very much for being here tonight. We'll see you tomorrow. And, as I always say, until next time, be safe out there. And a 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4. And a 5 and a 6 and a 7 and an 8.
Yeah, I've been doing this true crime thing for quite a while now.
And 13 and 14 and 15 and 16.
One person that is a crime dissector, flag rejector. I'm a certified human lie detector. Gonna get ya on a stretcher if you try and play me like an old projector. Crime sector is my nectar. Professor Greg is gonna give another lecture. Crime collector, freak connector, and I'm always gonna be a pup protector. Fool deflector, interceptor, and I'm meaner than a spectre with a vector on his pector. With all respect, y'all, just remember I've a temper fucking check ya. I have no agenda, I'm no pretender, and I'll serve it to you straight without the blender. And in the end, I'm gonna send ya on a mission to reveal the true offender. Yeah, so I'll just get right back.
All right, everybody. Thanks for being here.
Okay, Mary Lou, you sound like you were like smoking a little bit of ganja or something. You're too happy.
Okay. Good night, everybody. Jay. Like that, Gray?
Yeah, like that, but wow, okay. That's a little crazy there. All right. Thanks, everybody. We'll see you tomorrow, and be safe out there.
Be safe out there.
Yeah, I already said that.
I can say it if I want.
Well, I'm going to have to delete you from the system, Mary Lou.
What do you mean, Gray? Delete me? What do you mean, Gray? Oh, God.
God, are you okay, Mary Lou?
Yeah, I'm fine. Good night, everybody.
Ah, God, she gets me every time. What a poser.